Hello, everyone. Today, sitting down with me is my buddy Connor.
Hey Liam, thank you for having me.
Oh,
this is good.
I'd love to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah. How's it going today?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Got some work done.
Nice.
Came out here on the bus as we were talking about.
Yeah.
Which is a mission. Haven't been out checking this in a while. Last time I came out here, we went and played some b-ball.
Oh yeah.
Down at the
Journey to the court.
Journey to the court, exactly.
Yeah.
But you guys have a really good basketball court out here.
It's crazy how many sports you can get into. Like, there's the basketball court. We got a beach volleyball thing. Now there's a turf field.
There's turf field.
Yeah.
Where's that? Is that in behind?
Yeah, like, have you seen like where the gym and the lodge is?
Yeah.
Just like across the way from that, there's a new turf field.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you guys got the gym right there, like the hockey nets and everything.
You can pretty much not leave here and do every sport you want to do.
Yeah. What about food-wise? What do you guys have out here food-wise? You guys have
Not
like
much.
a corner store?
Yeah, like there is like a little corner store there. The hostel has food.
Yeah.
But if you really want good stuff, like you go to Function.
Yeah.
But like there's 200 Degrees in Function, which is super good. Like Wildwood's in Function. So there's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a couple like different like lunch and breakfast spots.
Yeah.
There's a new pizza place actually.
And Function?
Yeah, Functional Pie.
Nice, there you
Yeah,
go. What time does it close at though?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I've only been once.
Domino's delivered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's all you need.
Especially here. Yeah.
Just got to get Uber Eats.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dude, Uber's coming to BC right now.
Really?
Yeah,
It's on
that's
the
what I
way.
heard. Yeah,
No
Vancouver
way.
too.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
All the cab drivers.
Oh, I
just
know. People are
losing
pissed.
it.
Well, dude, it's a $25 cab to get to Cheakamus.
Oh man, it's insane. Like, I know, and this is the whole thing. It's inevitable that it's gonna come.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole issue with all these cab drivers and people being against it.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen eventually. So
Just embrace it kind of
embrace
thing
it,
and
exactly.
make the change. Yeah. I'm really excited for. Have you ever heard about the new robo-taxi thing with Tesla?
yeah, I know. And Elon Musk was just like, "Oh, we're basically gonna wipe out Uber. They're gonna be off the map." And you're like, "Oh my gosh!"
It
Like,
sounds sick though. Pretty much like
Yeah.
you buy a Tesla and then
Yeah.
if you're at work, then you're like, oh, I'll send my car to work too, and
Yeah.
you'll just like drive people around all day.
and it's gonna make you money.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
your car is making you the money. Like,
And Elon's like, "Oh, we'll take 30% off the top."
yeah,
Pocket
Well,
that.
I mean, that's a smart business, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, it's super smart
Yeah.
business. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for them with the driverless cars though is, I was listening to a couple people talk about it, and with driving, because you have to be somewhat aggressive as
Yeah.
a driver to merge onto a lane, and
For sure.
human like can be like, all right, I'm going to merge and this person's going to slow down.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
with a self-driving car, they can't, if they're too aggressive, well, they're going to get in accidents or they're going to hit people, crossing a sidewalk.
Totally.
But if they're not aggressive enough, they're just going to be stalled out in a merge lane.
Yeah.
Cars are just going to keep going by.
And
So,
different
no-
scenarios require different amounts of aggression.
Exactly. And I know that Elon was saying that they have about 1 billion kilometers of data or 1.5 billion kilometers of data where they're working on it.
Yeah.
Because his is, I don't know, I might be wrong on this. I'm not
Yeah, I know
totally
the
it, but
numbers are so tough.
I think that his, like all Teslas are camera sensors, which a lot of them, most cars are laser.
Yeah, LiDAR.
LiDAR, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing with LiDAR is it's quicker,
Yeah.
but it's not as exact. Like I know one example they were saying was a bike on the back of a car.
Yeah.
Like, how does the LiDAR, read that? They see a bike,
Yeah.
but it's on the back of a car. It's not actually, a
Going
bike. So,
crossword.
but
yeah.
with the cameras, they're starting to see that a lot more. Be like, okay, no, this is a bike, and then it goes back to their data sensor and back to the database, and they can
And cross
look
it
at
all
all
over.
this. Which
Yeah.
smart people work on that stuff.
Yeah, I
Just pretend
know.
to talk about it. Know what we're talking
Oh yeah, I
about.
read this thing. Yeah. That's crazy.
So it's good, but yeah, man.
Sweet. Do you want to go mic on the green one, just in case that doesn't get covered?
Put it on the green.
Like on your jacket,
Oh,
so
yeah,
that it
yeah.
sits more outside. Yeah. Oh, you can go lower probably. Like, nipple is perfect.
Don't worry.
Oh yeah, just money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he does not like LiDAR. I listened to an interview where he was like,
Yeah.
he made it was like pretty crude. He was pretty much said like, you can have like adding more incompetency, like more LiDAR just makes things worse.
Oh,
It was a
really?
pretty, he thinks camera's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that they were saying LiDAR is a lot more like quick, like
When it
a
identifies
laser.
something.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
identify.
yeah.
It's like, man,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I'm sure he knows what he's
Yeah,
talking
he
about.
put some time in, that's for sure.
He's digging tunnels to LA to San Francisco. I'm sure he can
Yeah.
tell which
Yeah,
cameras
man.
are ready.
Guy's very passionate.
Yeah, very
throws in
passionate.
numbers.
Workhorse too. All those guys, man. Like,
Yeah.
You look at all these tech giants and hours they're putting in, 80, 90 hours a week. It's just like, jeez.
So gritty. Yeah.
Insane. He's did you see his tweet about the flamethrowers I don't know if it was legit, but
Yeah.
it was a tweet with this whole Area 51 thing.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yo, I'll supply the flamethrower.
It's for that, like, the 500,000 people that want to storm
yeah,
Area 51 or something.
Yeah,
and
insane.
he said he'd give them all flamethrowers.
Oh, I think I don't know if it was taken out of context or someone made it, but it's just all like Elon Musk tweet, like, I'll supply the flamethrowers for Area 51.
Oh my god!
But
He, dude, him on Twitter, he loves like memes and he loves like poking people and throwing them
which might not be the best thing for a
I
CEO to
know.
do. You know, you might see a bit of
Yeah.
spike in Tesla stock after that.
Yeah, yeah, he
um,
likes to play that game.
Yeah. But the whole Area 51 thing is just insane.
Yeah,
Like, it started off as a joke, and people were like, "We're gonna do it, man! Like, let's go! Like,
Storm
get
it.
everyone together! You know, we're gonna build this massive, you know." And you see all the jokes were like, "Oh, we'll send the Kyles first, the monster Kyles, and
yeah,
they're gonna go up. Then after that, we'll get
They're the pawns.
yeah. You know, like, we'll get like the who else is
what,
there?
the Brads and
Yeah,
Chads?
the Brads and Chads next. And,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Just toss them all in.
Comical.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
know.
love it when people like, you know, pick about nice comedy from stuff like that, big events and things
for
like
sure.
that.
But people are taking it serious.
Yeah,
People are full on like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this, man," and you're just like,
strength in numbers.
yeah, strength in numbers.
Yeah, they can't kill us all.
Yeah, it's like, you do know that this is an Air Force base, like,
Yeah.
by the U.S. military, one of the strongest forces in the world.
Yeah, yeah, they probably got a pretty strong gate on that place. Yeah.
I'm sure it's not just a little bubble and pop in. Oh, we're in.
Yeah. If there's more than 10 of us, then yeah, they can't get. Yeah, it's. Well, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. When is that supposed to go down? Do you know the date for it?
No,
No.
I think it's soon though.
Let's see.
Facebook event.
Nice. We'll see a spike in numbers of everyone flying in.
Yeah,
Hotel
dude.
prices rising up and everything. It'll be like Whistler during Crankworks. Everyone's just jumping in.
Dude,
Well,
that'd be
like,
hilarious.
what's the nearest city by Area 51?
I don't know.
It's in Nevada, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Who knows?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, there's gonna be no cars to rent. It's gonna be like everyone's just coming in from all
Just
corners of the country.
running.
Yeah,
running
yeah.
in. Oh my gosh.
It's exciting.
Yeah. That'll be interesting
Yeah.
if it happens.
Yeah, dude. I'm sure there'll be a lot of news stories on that.
Yeah. Find out there's like 10 people that show up. They're
Yeah.
looking at each other like, oh.
Dude, that's a classic Facebook event though. Like, you know, 200 people subscribe on Facebook, and then it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
30 people show up. And
Yeah.
you go.
Well, that's
I
like
guess,
me trying to get a basketball game or any sports event going.
yeah, people like
Yeah.
actually committing to showing up.
Yeah.
I was pretty stoked on Marcos' birthday though. Like,
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
25 of the homies like
Yeah.
made it to somewhere
Yeah.
pretty far outside Whistler.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Marcos's birthday just
Yeah.
happened, and we all went out paintballing,
Yeah.
which was an adrenaline rush, super fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Definitely got gnarly. Way harder than I thought. Felt like when I left there, I'd seen some shit I never thought I'd see. But
Yeah, some people definitely, let's just say, took it to another level.
yeah, totally. Some got the worst of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark.
The firing line.
Yeah.
So basically what happened, for those wondering, called the gauntlet. So we all line up. There's 25 of us.
Yeah.
So 23, because Darcy and Marcos were the rabbits, I
yeah,
guess.
running down
And
the
we were
line.
probably, maybe 20 feet away?
Yeah, 20 or 30.
Yeah, 20, 30 feet away.
Yeah.
And they have to run from one flag to the other flag, and it's just open fire.
It was crazy.
The videos that you got of it, of the
Yeah, you barely hear individual shots. It's like
Oh,
a swarm
man.
of bees just flying
Yeah,
at someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Marcos, like, he had cuts on his face and stuff. Like, wearing a mask, had full-on cuts on his face.
Yeah.
Which
It was
is-
bad. I was very pro gauntlet before the gauntlet, and then I
Yeah.
watched it happen. I was like,
Well,
never seen something like that.
we had a staff party with Garfinkel's, the nightclub I work at.
Yeah.
And one of the guys did it.
Oh, okay.
And like when we were talking about it, I'm like, oh, like, because I remember when he did it, he didn't get it that bad. Like, he did it naked.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're like, okay, we'll kind of see. But we were at the other one. We were in the one south of the village.
Oh, okay.
And there's trees and everything in the way. So he gets to run, but a lot of the shots didn't actually make it to the target.
Yeah.
They're hitting trees and branches on the way in.
Is it trees like all the way up to him kind of thing? So
Exactly,
you have to like,
yeah.
you'd have to
Yeah.
line a shot up
Yeah,
pretty well.
yeah.
Especially
So,
with paintballs.
Like, he definitely got hit, but it was nowhere near as bad as
Oh my god,
in
the
the
boys
open,
were
you
covered.
know, just
Yeah.
shooting fish in a barrel, 2 of them.
Yeah.
And props to Austin for
Well,
for
yeah, because
jumping in.
Dars
for
hurt his
this.
ankle, and then the instructor still made him run. He
Yeah.
had a bone to pick with Dars, which was crazy. But then Austin got in there and did the best, probably some of the most consistent dive rolls I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They were really nice.
He overrolled the one.
Oh yeah, that was bad. I saw his
Yeah.
feet got around.
Yeah. And then everyone saw him.
Yeah.
And he just ran into the bushes.
Yeah.
Just threw in the towel.
I did pretty good. I just got one on the hand.
Yeah. I got one in the head.
Oh
Which-
shit.
Like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, if I had a concussion or something, like, that would rattle you.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
because it full on hit me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
that kind of hurt.
I
but
did get one in the
ring my
neck,
bell.
but it didn't break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually saw that one. You're
Where I
behind the
knocked
tires.
back? Yeah,
You're
yeah.
behind the tires,
Yeah.
and I saw you, and you're like feeling your throat. You're like, I'm all good, and you're like straight back into it.
Yeah. You're like, oh, no pain. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know my girlfriend. She got it pretty bad. She was the last one standing for the team when everyone
Oh
came
my
running
God.
in, and
Yeah.
there's like probably like 3 or 4 of them just rushing in. I was just like, just throw in the towel, like no, like give up,
Because at that point, everyone's gonna fire.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and they come from around like.
Oh, that's
oh
bad.
my gosh. But she took it like a champ. She
That's
was
good.
about it,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, sweet.
But I know like a couple. Well, even when we got hit, we were like walking off.
Yeah.
And because when you're on the far side, you have to walk past the team you're against.
Yeah,
And
totally.
they all see you. They're like, oh, look who these guys are. They start,
Yeah.
maybe firing a couple shots at your backs. Then you start running. You have your hands over your
Yeah,
head.
like stop.
trying
Oh
to
man,
call it.
the boys aren't the most merciful. Even like
Yeah.
that last game we went out for, everyone's like, we're on one line.
Yeah.
And the boys are all walking to the end, and Phil's the last guy walking.
Yeah, and a couple
Just
shots.
a couple of boys. Oh, just lit up his back. He just starts running down the way. Yeah.
That was good. And then what was the guy's name that?
G?
G?
Yeah.
So G was like the...
He's called the referee, really.
Yeah, the referee, basically. What was the other guy? Do you
Oh,
know?
I don't know.
Yeah, but basically, like, each team kind of has their own referee, so if someone is being
A little bit loose.
a little loose, a little over the top, they kind of fire a couple shots at him.
Yeah.
And the last game, he went in and played, like, so how did that... I didn't play in that one. So how did that work? Was it him and 2 other guys or 3 other guys? Like, was it Mitch Matt?
It was pretty much like whoever had balls left in their gun, they were
Yeah.
like, you can go out and play another
was
round.
was it even teams, or did he
No, it was kind of
have a
like
handicap?
like there was probably like way more of the black team. So I think there was
Yeah.
like 6 of us, and there's maybe like 3 or no, there's probably like 4 or something of the green team, and
Yeah.
he was a part of that.
Yeah.
But it was since it was just all balls, there was no lives. It was just shoot until you're done. So you
Yeah.
can take as many hits as you want.
Yeah.
So people were just getting in there getting smoked.
Yeah.
He got hit a couple good times.
Yeah,
he got
no,
one
he
in the
did.
neck, and he
Yeah,
was yelling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he definitely had like the home court advantage. He knew that course fairly well.
Dude, every
And-
time I'd poke away, I would just see his mask and you'd just
Yeah.
be staring. And
Yeah.
like a shot would go by your
Yeah.
head.
And just like seeing how tactical it was. Like, I wish I could see that from like a bird's eye view
Yeah.
of like seeing him like, running across the bus over here, firing a couple shots and cutting back behind the
Yeah.
bunker, then cutting up forward and like pressing pressure down low and everything. Like, it was just so cool to watch, like
Yeah.
that level in comparison to everyone else. Like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
ducking, like peek their head up for 1 sec, take a shot, and then duck back down. Like, he never like hid. He was always like in the offense, like
Totally.
pressing forward.
Yeah, very communicative
Which,
too. I heard he was like
yeah.
yelling at the boys. That was the thing. Like he would never hide. Every time I look up, his head would be up.
Like I wasn't in the game, but I was behind
And you were
watching,
watching?
and you're just like, you could see him, and he would never just like camp out. Like, I think that's all I did in every single game was like find a spot, camp out, and try to shoot people down.
Yeah, you're
Maybe-
behind it.
Yeah.
Go behind. Yeah.
Maybe like run back to a bunker every now and then, but it
Yeah.
definitely never got to the point where he was just like rushing and like putting pressure.
Yeah,
on.
like really running through the woods looking for
But
shots.
the one thing I like when you do play, you do find is when you see the person go behind,
Yeah.
and you're say they're behind the bunker,
Yeah.
and you have your head out and you're watching them,
Yeah.
you definitely have the advantage because as soon as they come up, you just start firing.
Yeah, you see.
And
the
then they go
shot.
back down. They just kind of cower away, and you're just
Oh.
sitting there, and you're just like, all right, here we go. Like,
Dude.
you're just sitting there waiting for them to poke their head.
That's
back
the
out.
worst when you know you're the one hiding.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah,
when I got hit.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
it was Buddy, and he had one of those see-through nets, and he's literally just pulling his gun through one of the holes,
Yeah.
and he's waiting for us. And I was like, just trying to be as thin as the tree, and he kept shooting, and they would graze off my butt, and then I'd check, and then he'd like graze it off my head, and then he caught me in the head.
Yeah. That was another thing. You could never tell who is who.
Yeah, the masks aren't very visible.
Even like friendly fire a little bit. Like,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I hit a couple of the people on my own team because they would go up ahead, especially not when we were in the
more open round.
Yeah, in the open round. So basically, we played a couple rounds. The first round was in the open section where we had bunkers and a bus in the middle.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went into the bushes, which got a little bit more chaotic. And everyone's wearing camo, and the only way you can tell who's on whose team is half of us have a green mask on, the other half have black.
Yeah, but it all looks the same.
It all looks the same, and especially when you, or if someone's running back to the bunker. Because in the other game we played, if you got tagged, you had to run back to the bunker, get your second life, then come back out. Yeah. You just see someone running at you.
Oh, and
you're just like, oh my gosh, who's this person? You just start firing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't do well in the military.
Yeah, it doesn't help that you can't see through those masks either.
The masks definitely didn't help, but identifying your target was definitely not
it's not easy.
Strong point.
I mean, I think Cassie only got shot when the game wasn't going, and by her brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
she was not happy
that
about that.
Was like the Sharp family is.
Oh yeah, they're
so
wild.
Funny. The banter between them is insane.
Yeah, no, they're their own crew.
You said you're going to their beer
Olympics.
Beer Olympics.
Yeah, this weekend I think. Down at their parents' place.
Yeah, that sounds like it'll be crazy.
I went last year. It was really fun. Yeah,
nice.
I don't really drink, but I definitely like to go see the madness. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be going. I got to work.
Are you working?
But
yeah,
I was definitely looking at it. I was like, that could be a really good time.
Oh yeah, it'll be a riot.
Oh man.
No, their whole family's like that.
Yeah.
It's lots of excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so for people listening, I think most people who know you probably know you from either Boarding on the Hill or from Garf's, where you provide the good times to the people of Whistler. Yeah. But you've got a new venture going on.
Yeah, I do. It's called Beachdaze Towel. So anybody who wants to go check that out, www.beachdaze towel on Instagram, Facebook, Beachdaze Towel.
Nice.
Basically what it is my boss actually and my friend Baz.
Okay.
We started a drop shipping company.
Yeah.
A little while ago, probably last year. And before that, I was trying to start my own kind of marketing agency. I wanted to start something on my own.
You've always been looking throughout the last couple of years of something where you could
start
put some time in.
And so we started a drop shipping company. Those of you who are unaware with what drop shipping is, basically you're like a middleman. So do you know what drop shipping is?
No.
So drop shipping, so say you want a lava lamp or something like that.
Yeah.
You provide the marketing for it.
Okay.
And they don't buy it directly from you. They basically are buying it from China. So it's the same thing as a store. It's an online store. It's e-commerce.
Yeah.
So the same way you go to a store and you're like, oh, this is a cool shirt.
Yeah.
Or, the store is buying that from another company.
Yeah.
Which they're just taking the profit of that.
Okay.
So you're doing the same thing. You're supplying the marketing. You're supplying here's the product.
Yeah.
But you never actually have to hold it because when it gets shipped to them, it's basically coming straight from China.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So say you find a lava lamp for $5 on the internet, and you're like, oh, this is cool. People would like to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell it I'm going to promote it. I'm going to do all the Google ads. I'm going to do Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Try to build a bit of a website, a business for it.
Okay.
On AliExpress and Amazon.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I'm going to sell it for $10.
Yeah.
So people see it for $10. They're like, oh, that's a cool lava lamp. You're basically just the marketing. You're the middleman.
You're providing that product that China's producing to the people,
exactly.
And then they buy it through you, but you never actually see the product.
You never, exactly. So it goes straight to them. So we started off doing that with what we're selling is round towels. Sorry, never talked about that. We're selling round towels, custom design, wholesale, which is awesome. Lots of businesses are getting involved with it. We kind of try to go after businesses, events, and destinations.
Okay.
So we have Whistler towels. We've been selling, trying to get into Mexico, Banff and everything.
Totally.
Kind of the tourist towns. You know how you always see the knickknacks at the shops and everything
people
like
love
that.
to buy.
So selling custom wholesale towels for them.
Okay.
So
the drop shipping business sort of progressed into what is now more specifically a towel business, and then use that drop shipping model to provide the towels.
A little bit. So what happened with the drop shipping is we did a couple courses on it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they're always like, oh, make money fast, super easy.
Yeah,
you just gotta,
classic.
the classic, spiel. And we always know, never really believe any of that.
Yeah.
But we started doing it. But what we found was a lot of the products we were selling, which were round towels, they would go out of stock.
Okay.
And then you do all this work to, you know, promote a certain product and towel.
Yeah.
And, you know, all this stuff. And then they run out of stock, and then you got to find a new towel, and you'd have to upload that one. And
crazy.
it was just a lot of like management on the website and everything like that.
Yeah.
Which also what happened too with us is the Canada Post strike kind of screwed us over for getting any business in Canada whatsoever. And obviously, you know, trying to tell friends about it, like, oh, order this, order that. And then China, they weren't accepting any packages from China.
Wow.
So we're just like, all right, well, you know, we're not going to.
That pretty much halted that.
Yeah. So the only way we could get them is if we bought them in bulk.
Okay.
So we're like, all right, well, let's make a Whistler one, a Whistler round towel.
Yeah.
And see how it goes. So we bought, I think it was 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Bought them in, and we sold them less than 24 hours. I just put a thing up on Whistler Winter and on Facebook, and
it was
Whistler
gone.
Buy and Sell, and people were just like, oh, can I get one of those? Can I get one of those?
Wow.
So we're like, all right, well, maybe we kind of tapped into a market. So then we got in contact with Whistlife. We're selling them out of Whistlife. You guys want to go get a Beachdaze Towel, head down to Whistlife and get us there. We're looking at talking to a couple other stores around town, trying to get them in there. But the big kind of orders are coming through mostly companies. Like we just sold 300 to Swatch,
the watch company.
Yeah, watch company, which is awesome.
Yeah.
A toothpaste company or toothbrush company. Like
that's crazy.
Really random. It's kind of cool. The clients we're getting. And this is all just through Google Ads.
Yeah.
And also for me, learning so much about, you know, how to build a business and how to, you know, market to certain people and all of this stuff. You know, building a website. And, you know, getting in FaceTime, you know, going into the store and being like, hey, you know, I'm so-and-so, I'd like to sell my product in your store.
Totally.
Just learning all that stuff is just so crucial and beneficial. Like this is something that I want to do, you know, like I want to be kind of more entrepreneurial and like kind of try out new things, you know, hopefully own a couple of companies as I get older.
Yeah.
And this was definitely, you know, been a learning experience, and how to promote myself is just, and my business is huge.
Yeah, so whether or not this business is the one, those skills that you're learning are invaluable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
and future.
And the good thing is like we're making money now. Like this company, which is funny, Bass and I always joke about it, cost us $2,000 to start up.
Wow.
Like the whole entire thing, $2,000. Like that is all the money we put into this company. Everything else is just through our work and our knowledge. Yeah. And like he's a genius when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Like he's so good. Like he's done all the back end stuff for Garf's as well.
Nice,
Like has all the tricks of the trade and knows, you know.
It's probably nice to have someone like that in your corner.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like mentor underneath him and everything. But just learning all those skills is just, as you said, crucial. And like I never went to college or university or anything like that. Like I was straight out of high school. I'm like, I'm moving to Whistler. Like that's what I want to do. Like here we go. Yeah. And coming down here, you know, obviously snowboarding and everything like that, like I was like, okay, I need to kind of start building some skills and learning and something all this stuff.
Very more sustainable for you to continue lifestyle.
Yeah. And there's no better way than just
jumping in the trenches.
Jumping straight into it, sink or swim kind of stuff. But in saying that, like, you go to school and you kind of learn business, but it's like, you know, okay, if you were to go to a business venture and talk about X and Y and Z and, you know, add all this together, like it's not as hands-on, it's not as tangible as like, all right, I'm gonna go in. And a big thing that I really like about this is like I've been bartending for 4 years now. Yeah. And it's just kind of the same, like I love it, don't get me wrong, like bartending is awesome, but it's the same kind of thing. It's, I'll get a rum and Coke, all right. You know, you just do this about 1,000 times a day, and you're just pouring drinks, pouring shots. Kind of like
peak, like you figure it out, and then it's the same.
You peak, exactly. Yeah. Like you can do that job, you know, half in your sleep, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, totally. But the cool thing with, you know, starting up your own company and kind of learning about it is everything's different. There's no right way to go about things. Yeah. It's, all right, see if this works. Oh, all right, that worked pretty good. We're going to keep doing this. Yeah. All right, this didn't work so well. We're not going to do that as much. Yeah. So learning all that stuff is primarily like such a huge factor in business. Yeah. So just being able to take what you've learned and then apply it. Yeah. Really, especially these days, I feel like I mean, I don't know how much Google Ads deal with algorithms and things like that, but those can just change, and then you got to figure out how to market your stuff. 100%. Yeah. So is your pretty much basic business model is you attract people through the Google Ads. They come to you. You do the design of the towels? Yeah, we do. A lot of the people, like, we'll charge extra for design. A lot of the the companies that come through, they kind of already have what they're looking for.
It's simple. It's like our
Simple.
logo,
Exactly.
middle of the towel.
Most of it's just logo, middle of the towel. Can you
Yeah.
get this done for us? Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
We'll send it off, get them all made, and send it back and everything. Like that.
Yeah. So you're doing all the legwork and providing the towels.
Yeah. Like we do design, but the one frustrating thing about design is, do you like this design?
Yeah.
I kind of do, but I'd like to, kind of change this up a little bit.
Back and forth.
The back and forth is
Yeah.
just,
probably
crucial.
provides, and especially if you're talking time versus dollars, that takes so much time just to provide one sale versus the company's quick.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about it first, and the most ingenious part about it that I really liked was the fact that they're one size fits all.
Yeah.
And they don't really break.
They don't, and that was a big thing.
Yeah.
When we were doing these courses for the drop shipping, and like kind of hearing people's stories, and people are like, oh, I have, this disco ball that I'm selling, and it keeps breaking, and then that's just terrible, because you're dealing with, say even 10% of your customers that are like, hey, this stopped working, or this broke. Yeah. And then you got warranties and back and forth, and all that stuff is just
bad reviews too.
Bad reviews and everything. But and the one size fits all too is big.
It's key. Yeah.
Oh, how big's a medium? How big's a small? All that stuff is
just takes so much time out of your day.
Insane.
Wow.
But it's been really, really good. We're looking at doing a couple trade shows.
Okay.
Here in September. We got one down in Vancouver, so that'll be good.
Nice.
And that's another thing, like just learning that whole side of things as well.
Totally.
And trying to sell yourself a little bit. And
I mean, in every market, like they all do trade shows, like through snowboarding, any other companies.
Like I've done some stuff with DC, which is so beneficial. Even if you just get your foot in the door, be like, all right, a big thing is you got to sell it. You got to talk about the product.
Right. Yeah.
And that's
so learning all that stuff.
Yeah, learning all that stuff. And like I said, like I never went to university, and this isn't really stuff you can learn through books. They can give you points, but until you actually put on your boots and go out there and get onto the field, then you don't really know exactly how it's going to go, because every single person you talk to is going to be different. They all have different personalities, and you kind of got to target, okay, what is this person looking for? Like I wouldn't go into say if we're like right now we're trying to get into wedding towels, and like selling to like as wedding gifts, and kind of like bridesmaids like stag parties and like bride parties and bridal showers and stuff. I wouldn't go in there and come and be like, you got to market it towards that, so lots of flowers, lots of glitter and shiny, and kind of white towels. I wouldn't go in there with black harsh lettering like Thrasher logo towel. Like you definitely have to
see your demographic.
Yeah, see your demographic. Which this is actually really funny. Yesterday we were playing baseball. Yeah. Which we had a big win. I'll talk about that
nice!
later.
Congratulations.
I was going through Instagram, and Rolls Royce put up this photo. I kid you not, you guys can check it out. Yeah. Rolls Royce of a surfer. They have a Phantom parked on the beach with surfer girl with a Rolls Royce surfboard walking around modeling. And you're just like, okay, that is the total like wrong.
That's not your market.
That's not your market at all. It's just like, okay, first of all, like surfers like cannot afford that. Like maybe Kelly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Right?
But maybe not probably gonna buy a Rolls Royce.
Exactly.
And if you're marketing to one guy, it's probably not worth the money.
But it was so funny to like I was showing everyone that, and we all had a laugh and everything. Yeah. And the best part about it is they show the Rolls Royce like going back into the trailer that it came from. So it didn't even drive there. They drove a truck in with a trailer, pulled out the Rolls Royce, got a photo, and like I get it, it's a photo shoot, but it's still, just ridiculous that you're like, no one's gonna be driving a Rolls Royce on a beach. Like that is just outrageous to even think of. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess we're talking about it now, so
something outrageous. Yeah, like it's interesting what people are trying to sell. Like you sell the idea or the image,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's gonna hit too hard.
But the baseball. We had a big win in baseball. I'm a pretty big sports guy.
Oh yeah, big sports guy.
Big sports guy.
Yeah.
And we've been playing baseball this year.
Okay.
Which we haven't been that great, but we're getting better.
You got a team name?
Apres Lager is sponsoring it.
Oh, nice. Sick.
The Apres Chuggers. Paul Stoker.
Yeah, Keen. That's
He's our team captain. He's the one kind of running everything. So
sick.
It's good to have him involved. But we're down by 5.
In the series total?
No, down by 5 going into so it's 7 innings, so we're down by 5 going into the 7th.
No way.
And the last innings,
Yeah.
like open innings, so you can just get as many runs as you can. We got 8 runs.
Shit.
And then we just had to close them down in the last, and it was
You guys would have been frothing.
Yeah, it was good. I got a good catch and to get the first guy out. So I was pretty stoked on that. But
I'm not a huge sports guy, but I back any come from the back, like that kind of story stuff. That stokes me out.
Yeah, no, I think everyone gets stoked on that. Did you see the Wimbledon?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Who took that?
So Djokovic.
Okay.
He came out big, but it was the longest game in Wimbledon history, I do believe. I don't want to say anything. Some
like the
sports nerds can be like, no, it wasn't so and so, but
it rivaled. Have you ever seen the movie like the 7-day match or whatever, or 9-day match with Andy Samberg?
No. I haven't.
Okay.
That's good.
That's completely different than what we're talking about, but you should watch that. It's outrageous. Yeah.
But no, it was a 5-hour game. Djokovic and Federer.
Yeah.
And I watched the highlight because everyone was kind of ranting about it, like, oh my gosh, this is great. I watched the highlights and I was like in my chair watching the highlights, like, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding? Like, I was losing it, like, just close, watching the and I already knew who won. I'm still sitting there like, come on, like, let's go. Like,
oh, that's sick.
Getting all fired up.
But,
no, that's like the beauty of sports right there. Is seeing two of like the most elite of the elite athletes just going back and forth, so close, like and just the hand-eye, like everything about it. Like, I'm not a huge tennis guy, but when you see a match like that, like, heck, I could be watching badminton if it's that good.
Oh my god, I know what you mean. Like, just that peak, elite level of performance in anything is beautiful to watch. That's why I think becoming an expert in anything is valuable, because people will find it interesting. Like, if you become a master of your craft, whatever you do, I think it's gonna provide value to someone, even if it's only for a short period of time.
It definitely helps if you're in a well-paid sport.
Oh yeah, like those tennis boys. I watched I watched a 2-minute video the other day of Federer just hitting balls back to the ball boys. Yeah. Have you seen that? No. Whenever he'll serve and the other guy will blow it, he'll always just knock it back to the ball boys. The ball boys do a really clean catch. I guess Federer used to be a ball boy when he was growing up.
Oh, really? Yeah, that guy is 37. Yeah. And still just crushing it.
Peak of his career kind of thing.
Yeah, insane. And he's just so humble about it. Like, they gave him the interview afterwards. They're like, oh, so what's on your agenda now? He's like, oh, go back to be a husband and a dad. Just so chill. Like, you could tell, just experience and everything. He's like, oh, you know what, it's a game. Well, someone younger might be like, oh, all frustrated about it and everything. Because you got to think, the biggest game of the year in tennis. And at one point he had I don't want to say this, but I'm pretty sure he had advantage to win it. I think. He was close. I was watching the highlights. I couldn't really tell because they kind of kept flipping through the score. But at one point, I know that he had advantage, and this is in the fifth. Where I thought if he got the next one, he would have won it. But then I didn't see the next play because.
Oh yeah, they cut to the next.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But insane, just back and forth, and seeing the crowd get into it.
Oh yeah, when they're just losing their minds.
Yeah, and you got to think I know people in Wimbledon, they don't get that, maybe a little clap here and there, but to see him jumping up, so fired
for a
up.
Sport like that.
You're just oh yeah, so good. It's so good to watch.
You stoked.
I know there's been some good sports stuff going on for sure, like the baseball and everything. You hear about the no-hitter? No. So basically, Tyler Skaggs passed away. Okay. 27 years old. Then played for the Angels. They came back, and it was the first game back home. Yeah. So I think the whole team wore 45, which was his number. Okay. His mom threw the opening pitch and everything. Wow. And he's a pitcher. Yeah. And it was two of them. Gonna blank on the names, but between them they threw a no-hitter, which a no-hitter is super rare in baseball. And
where
they threw one together.
You strike everyone out. Is that what that is?
Yeah, but basically no one hits the ball.
Wow. Yeah. No fouls, no nothing.
No. So you can still get a foul, but no one gets.
Plays.
Yeah, no plates unless they walk them. Yeah. Okay. So that you can still walk them, but yeah. Holy. Which is insane. It's super rare to get. Yeah. And between them they got
those moments like that are special. You can tell that there's something else going on. There's a vibe with people out there.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a good one. Then
special moment.
Guerrero crushing it at the home run derby. That was good to watch too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Setting records. Unfortunately, doesn't come away with the W, but still. Yeah.
That's you find a lot of enjoyment through sports, eh?
I do, 100%. It's funny how actually I got into a lot of these sports because like I've always been a huge hockey fan.
Okay.
Like, massive into hockey. Like that's
true Canadian boy.
Yeah, exactly. I grew up playing it.
Yeah.
But I worked at Cow's Ice Cream. I worked at an ice cream shop for 4 years.
Oh, you did. You're Cow's boys.
Yeah. What I used to do is in the summertime, like all the guys that would come in, the Americans, they always tip really, really well.
Yeah.
So I would just figure out where they're from, and I would just find out, like I would always kind of do a bit of research before that day, like getting kind of into, baseball, especially in the
little
summertime.
Highlights or little things that are happening.
Mostly baseball because kind of basketball, hockey, and football are all during the same time. And then summer comes, it's just baseball. And they play every single day. So I just find out where they're from. Seattle, and if the Mariners are doing good, I'd be like, oh yeah, you see the Mariners game? And they'd be like, yeah, I did. And they'd be super stoked. And it's just kind of that connection, based. And, it goes a long way, being able to talk about that.
Business stuff too, like being able to
100%.
identify someone's, likes and be able to connect with them on that because they're way more, interested. Like I'm sure you got way better tips from someone who's,
100%.
Yeah.
And like same thing happens like at Garfinkel's at the nightclub over here when people come in. And if I can, talk to them, find out where they're from, find out a little bit about them. Yeah. And the more I try to learn about a certain place that they're from, well, it goes so much further because that connection, that trust, in a way, it sounds corny, but that trust between you. It's like, oh, this guy, he likes this.
Well, and their experience is better too. They're like, yo, that bartender was so dope. Like that's way better night for those guys. So it
definitely helps out. But it's just funny how that, like, that's how I really got into baseball. Like before that, like I would always watch, but I never, like I'd only kind of watch the Blue Jays. My dad's favorite team, so I liked them. Yeah. But then after that, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I'll get into some of these other ones. But, yeah, it's cool. And like I me and my girlfriend, we went down to the Dominican. Last October, in October, and I have a Guerrero jersey. Whoa. and this was
Baseball's
before.
Big there, right?
No, it's massive there, like huge. So this was before he was even playing for the Jays. I went down there and everyone's like, "Whoa, is that Vladdy Guerrero?" Like, no way! like they were so stoked, and I was like, "Yeah, man!" Felt like it kind of fit in a little bit, and it was awesome because I was during the World Series when we were down there, and it was Dodgers, Red Sox. And where we were staying, they had a full-on movie theater. Like it was, it was the best sports watching experience I think I've ever had. Like a full-on rows and rows and rows, and probably like 100-inch screen TV at the front.
Wow,
it was just
like
huge.
Great sound too.
Yeah, great sound, and the server would come, and because it was all inclusive, just whatever drink you want, you're just sitting there like, oh dude, this is the best. It was sick because like half, I would say more were definitely going for the Dodgers, but half of them were kind of Boston, half were Dodgers.
Whoa, so you could hear that.
It was like super torn between the two, but that was really cool.
That's sweet. It's cool how it brings people together like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And this way. As you were saying, just the fact that going down there and kind of showing them, because Guerrero is obviously Dominican. They're like, oh, like they almost like think of me differently, like because
you guys can like connect on something.
Exactly.
They wouldn't have thought of in the first place.
Even though like my Spanish is terrible.
But that's the thing. Like, are we best friends now? Like Guerrero. Like, let's do this. Yeah, let's go watch the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been getting to F1 lately. That's probably the only.
I watched not the whole thing, but I've been watching that Formula or Drive to
Survive on Netflix. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't into it whatsoever, and then I watched that and I was like, F1's dope, and I just got way into it. It is. Yeah. Really. It's intense.
Exactly, 100%.
It's been pretty like a mild season up until like the last couple races. Like the last one was the British GP. Yeah. And there was some tight racing, like good battling, like a couple guys going off, and it was sweet. Yeah.
That's really good. How's the Canadian guy doing? What's his
Stroll?
Name? Stroll, that's it.
Stroll's not doing that well.
No. His dad's the one running it?
Yeah, so there was this there was a team
called... Wonder how he got that job.
Yeah, I know, it's tough. Even, hey, did you watch in the Drive to Survive thing? He's like, yeah, I've kind of got this like kind of fed to me on a silver spoon. Yeah. That's what Stroll's saying, but he's like, yeah, but it is what it is.
100%, dude. Take it and run.
Yeah, but I mean, F1's like that. Like, there's so much money in it. I think one of the few guys, like, there's a guy, Ocon, he's a reserve driver for Mercedes. He kind of came from lesser roots, and same with Hamilton too. Like, he didn't come from money as much, but
really,
yeah. But Yeah, a lot of money in that sport. That thing was crazy though. So Force India was the team before what's called Racing Point now.
Okay.
And the guy who owned Force India got into a bunch of trouble with like evading taxes, and then the
Yeah.
team came up for sale, and then Lance's dad bought it and brought Lance from another team into that team.
Okay. Yeah,
It's very competitive on like getting drivers on and off teams, and
Yeah.
like they always cut drivers constantly.
Yeah.
I think it'd be tough. Like you'd always be on edge on whether or not, if you're not performing, like you're gone.
Yeah. No. 100%.
Which I guess is similar to other sports too.
But and we're just talking about the drivers, so you got to think about all the mechanics and like the people in the back are like part of the team. Like,
there's hundreds, thousands of people a part of
the
it.
engineers and stuff. Think about how stressful that would be. Like,
oh man.
When I was watching it and like the car shut off or the car broke.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, someone's getting fired. Like someone's just
straight up. Like, or they mess up in the pit stop, and it's just like those guys are gone.
Yeah.
Just like
100%.
that. Yeah, it's interesting though. I listened to this thing. This guy Nico Rosberg, he's an old Formula One driver. He runs a podcast as well, and he was interviewing an old professional table tennis player.
Okay.
And the reason that he brought him on is because this table tennis player went to the Olympics for table tennis.
Yeah.
And choked so hard.
Really?
Went to the first game. He like, the guy destroyed him. He barely got a couple points on. Like it's pretty rare for like, usually a game will go and it'll go like how the tennis game went, where there's like advantages and it'll be a tight game. Barely got a couple points and just got destroyed. So after that, the guy got really into like mental performance and like why people choke and like the whole thing of that. And they were talking about, in F1 you have like spotters and engineers, and they talk to the drivers as they're driving.
Yeah.
And one of Nico's big points was that the engineers don't talk to the drivers as like human beings. They talk to them very analytically.
Yeah.
And he kind of said that there could be like more room in that, kind of as like in sports teams where they kind of know how to talk to the players, kind of things like that.
Yeah.
They said in F1, because it's such a big thing and those guys are so specialized, the drivers so specialized, and they seem like, you know, they seem like superhumans driving those crazy cars.
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear that take out of all this madness, that there's like still that personal connection that needs to be there.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting take.
Yeah, no, that is definitely interesting. Like having more of like a human connection instead of like a robot.
Yeah, because they'd be like, you know, telling really analytical data of the car, and the guy's like out there doing 300 kilometers an hour trying not to die. He's like there's listening to the radio is really interesting in those cars. Yeah.
Oh man. But and just to hear like how chill they are sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I know sometimes, you know, they're yelling back and forth, but like as you're saying, going 300 kilometers an hour and just behind that wheel, just like, oh yeah. Like,
yeah.
Especially when they're like, oh, this is shutting down, and they're still just gunning it, and you're like, oh my.
Those are the sickest wins when they're like, okay, the car's busted. Like, can you make it to the finish? And or can you push harder?
Yeah.
And the driver's usually like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Like just clearly knowing that they're in like, you know, like a time bomb, and it's just.
Did you ever watch Senna, the documentary?
No.
That's a really good documentary.
What's that on?
Ayrton Senna.
Oh, okay.
The Brazilian driver.
Yeah.
Like,
I should watch that.
Really, really good. Probably one of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
No way.
Yeah, between that one and Shane McConkey's documentary, those are probably the two best.
Oh yeah, those are really good. Yeah.
But insane.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. And if you're into Formula One, anyone watching this,
into
Formula One, watch Senna.
It'll stoke you out.
Like the footage, because this is all giveaway, spoiler alert. He died in '94.
Okay.
I believe. So yeah, this is all from like the late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah.
All the footage.
Yeah.
And they have kind of like the behind the scenes, because there's a lot of politics in it.
So much
politics, and they full on have like on camera, you know, the president or the chief of Formula One coming in, and basically a big thing with it was he was French, and one of the guys driving was French, and there was like a couple times where, you know, and Senna was like a really aggressive driver, so you know, he would try to pass and everything, and you take him out, and they basically at one point were like, all right, who here in the room thinks Senna was in the right? And everyone stands up.
They would vote on it.
Yeah, like basically. Wow. And then, you know, the guy that was French was like, oh, you know, he's all good, like just basically totally taking his back. But yeah, you see all the politics getting played.
That's cool. It's becoming big right now because like there's this big thing of like they've been tossing out a lot of 5-second penalties. So like a racing incident will happen, something will go down, and it's kind of on the edge of like, well, is that racing or is it dangerous? And the FIA has been like really leaning towards it was dangerous. And it's tough. It's tough to determine, like, because in the past there's been a lot of deaths and it's been very dangerous. Yeah, totally. But it's tough to keep that line, but still keep racing alive.
100. Well, it's the same with border cross.
Yeah.
You've done border cross?
Oh yeah,
like
super gnarly.
When you're trying to cut that corner and there's a guy in front of you and you're like, oh, can I make it? And you got to be aggressive. You have to. Like, if you don't, it's like, okay, well then I'm just giving this away.
I would say that there's two trains of thoughts. It's either when you get to that situation and your brain goes, is it go or no?
Yeah.
And you either have that vibe of you go or you don't, and it's been tough. I've definitely been like, especially racing border style and stuff like that, and a lot of times where I'm like, it's not worth it, and I pull back. Or the other times where I'm like I had a race this year. It was I can't remember the whole. Oh, it was the whole roster was it was me, Logan Short, was that Brown,
border style?
Yeah, and can't remember the like professional border cross guy. Anyways, big dog. Anyways, so he was out front, and me and Logan were battling for second. Yeah. And we got to the last corner, and I like knew my line. I knew if I went outside, I could catch up to him, and I'd be coming really close to the jump. And it was like he was right by the gate, and I was like, I can go, and just like dove in, and we like clacked boards. I got around, and then we went off the jump pretty much the same time. Yeah. But yeah, it's where do you draw the line of like when you're putting in a line too much or not enough or.
Well, the worst part about it is like a lot of these times you're going, it's against friends, and stuff like that, and no,
you want to be a gentleman, but you
want
also
to be a gentleman, but at the same time you want to win. Like that's the whole competitive nature. A sport like racing where, like, if you do collide, it could very well potentially be your fault.
Yeah,
like,
totally
it could be your fault, and you almost took this guy out. Yeah, who was contending for the.
That's like the difference between like racers, which is like border cross and snowboarding, or like slopestyle guys. Like if I'm going out to a slopestyle contest, I'm going there to do my run. Whatever I do, it's all up to me. It only affects me, and like that's the thing where I'm not trying to beat anyone essentially. Mm-hmm. But if you're going out to race, like all those 4 guys you're dropping in with, you're there. You have to be wanting to beat them. You know what I mean? And 100%. It's a battle between you. Like it's
when you get into like these like Olympic and everything, like the mentality they have is just
the mental side of it's crazy.
No holding back. It's going.
Well, dude, that's why you see border crossers like at the top of drop-ins like banging their chest and growling and like roaring up because
fired up,
dude, like, you're straight up like, okay, we're going to war. Like
She's like a UFC fighter coming into the ring, just getting fired up.
Man, have you ever watched bobsled?
A little bit, just obviously not to the extent where I follow it.
Yeah, so I went to my first ever bobsled event at the Whistler Sliding Center this year, and I'd never been before. And we go up and we're at we watched a couple of different sections of the track. Then we go to the top, and in bobsled, we were watching 2-man, but pretty much there's like a driver, and then there's pretty much a pusher, and pusher buddy has like 10 seconds where he kills it. He pushes the sled as hard and as fast as he can, and then he gets in and he's just relying on the driver. So he has to peak for like such a short period of time. So they're at the top, and they're literally like, everyone's yelling like, let's go, come on, let's go, and they're like smacking themselves and hitting each other, and they're like, all right, and then they just boom and run as fast as they can, get in the sled, and then you're just like
power,
just shaking the whole way down to the driver. But that's a crazy sport where you're just like everything, all I've got, like get as riled up as you can and just like run towards the straights. It's pretty cool to see, like
100%.
all the different sports just getting vibed up like that.
Yeah, and just as you said, like beating your chest and getting pumped. Well, like you look at football and everything. It's funny how different sports have different mentalities.
Yeah.
And even within that sport, like usually, if you're watching football, like a quarterback, like he'll get fired up. But it's nothing like, a defensive tackle or like someone getting a sack. Dude. They're just full on losing their mind. Because like they're like just like they're the second coming of Christ. Like.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, I think like the quarterback's intensity, like he's playing the whole game, so he's got to be like really calculated. Where the defensive line, they're pretty much just like that guy. I'm gonna kill him right now.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's it. Yeah. That's another mentality thing. It's funny when. These guys, it's not like, I'm going to go and I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to tear this guy apart.
Well, you need that. Like, because that guy's coming towards you the same way. Yeah.
Football is just, I love watching it.
Yeah.
One, because how strategical it is. I know all sports are strategical. But when you full on watch it and like you hear Tony Romo like announcing what's going down and you're just like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like just seeing how, and every single play is different. You
Yeah.
know, like it's kind of the same thing with baseball where every single pitch is different. You know, they're going to
Yeah,
try to, it's almost like game within a game.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's not just throw the ball, catch. It's like, okay, well, this time we're going to try to run it, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to split, and he's going to come through the middle.
Yeah.
And, yeah, every single play, you know, the defenders have to be recognizing what's going on. And the offense, you know, they might be throwing in, you know, a curveball and be like, oh, you know, we're going to do a flea flicker here or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it is really, really cool.
It's cool that strategy matters so much in both those sports, but the effect on the players is so different. Like those baseball guys, they're like long drawn out games and they're like super chill the whole time. They have to be keeping their wits about them. And then football, you're just smashing people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And like baseball is probably the most statistical game.
Yeah, it really is.
Out there, 100%.
Yeah.
Like every single thing is like
down
the
to
amount of
stats.
stats they have is insane.
Yeah.
And it's so funny when you like hear the announcers talking about baseball. They're like, oh, you know, when Stroman eats Wheaties in the morning, he pitches 3% better that day. And like, it's just ridiculous.
That is such a
and it's almost over analyzing it sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, with like a sport like hockey, where you know strategy matters.
Yeah.
But I know it's the most upsets happen in hockey as opposed to any other sport because the pucks obviously kind of you can have bad bounces. Like that's 100% a thing. Bad bounces in hockey.
Yeah.
You know the ice can be chippy. Like obviously, you know usually the better team will win and everything like that. But the fact that and it's so fluid. That setting up a strategy is a little bit. It's not like, you know, baseball where every single pitch is going to be different. You'll watch them swing a field depending on who's coming up to bat. And same with football, you know, every single strategy is so different. And, you know, the coaches have such a big impact on calling a play.
Yeah.
Well, with hockey, it's, you know, it's just
the play
always
speed
going.
Too.
It's always, and the speed is huge.
Yeah, like you said, hockey's very fluid. Like the amount of time a play really stops is much less than, you know, baseball where every time it's a play, the game stops. Play and game stops.
Which I know that's the one thing they've been talking about baseball is putting in a pitching clock.
Oh, really?
Because the game, like you got to think about it, man. Some of those games go 4 hours.
Yeah,
and
true.
I know a lot of, and they are losing fans, so I've heard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are kind of like, you know, people that aren't like big fans in baseball or that are going there like, oh, okay, you threw a ball. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're like, I don't have.
They're trying to bring other people in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they introduced a shot clock in it, like the NBA, NBA and stuff like that, and it's definitely makes for a very fast game.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I kind of get frustrated with is the whole coach going to the to the pitcher going to the mound.
Oh, that happens, eh?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. So basically, if like a pitcher's not throwing too well, like he can go to the mound, he can pull him and bring someone in, you know, bring in a reliever. Yeah. But like it'll just, you know, walk up. And
he's gonna walk a couple yards.
Everyone comes in, they kind of talk about it for a little bit. Okay, he's good. And then they'll walk back, and you're just like, man, this is taking so much time. Like if they can kind of cut those out, like me personally, I know there's probably baseball fans out there like, oh, I can't believe you said that. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
Like some of these, you know, oh, that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
But like for me personally, like I don't know, we don't need to see a coach walk out there to tell a pitcher to pitch better than walk all the way back.
Well, that's like, I guess, depends on your mindset too. Like whether you think if it should change so that the sport will continue to grow and continue, or you should keep it the same even though it's going to die. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I don't think it's gonna die. Definitely.
Yeah, but if you're losing, you know, like if you could improve the sport so more people would see it, more people would enjoy it, versus keeping it the same for the purity of it, but it will never grow.
That's another thing, you know. That's the whole, you know, core aspect of it. You know, this is how it's always been. You know.
Yes.
And snowboarding has the exact same thing.
100%.
And this is a huge debate. Olympics and snowboarding.
Yeah.
And people, oh, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be all about, you know, the soul of it. And
yeah, it's so tough, man.
You hear about it, and like me, my opinion on it is, you know, like Olympics brings more viewers in, it brings more money into the sport. So I'm not totally opposed to it. Like I get where people are coming from. Yeah. And I like me personally, like I'm not a contest kid. I don't go out there all the time.
Yeah.
Compete in contests, and I love snowboarding for what it is.
Totally.
But if people want to do that, and like obviously they got to know what they're signing up for. Because I know you and Sam talked about. In your last podcast about how she was saying that coaches and everything getting mad at her.
No, the effect of coaching on snowboarding and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a multifaceted issue. Like, I mean, we've been, like, the main one that I'd say is highly contested right now is airbags too, and the effect that's going to have on snowboarding.
Yeah, that one's.
Yeah.
Props to Darcy for calling out airbags. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's one of those things, but it's like, I mean, when the first double cork was done, there was guys that were going like, I'm never gonna do a double cork. Like, that's not gonna be a part of snowboarding. And then doubles are so constant now. And then the triple comes out, and someone's like, no, I'm never gonna do the triple. And then triples become more mainstream, and it's tough where you draw the line of progression versus, and then seeing people get broken off too. Like, it's hard to watch your friends get really hurt.
No, 100%.
Yeah. So if an airbag's something that can,
minimize it.
Yeah.
I agree for sure.
It's
trying to keep it safe. And like, honestly, it comes down to the snowboarder too. It's like, if that guy wants to hit an airbag, by all means, go and hit it.
Yeah, totally. But, like, if you're not, not hurting anyone or anything like that, do live as you please kind of thing.
But the one thing that I do, like what Darcy said was, like, you know what, like, this is how I've done it. Like, this is how, like, a lot of people, like, that's the tough part, is there's a bunch of guys who have laid it on the line for so long. Like, the guys who know how to do those tricks now got broken off to learn how to do those tricks. Yeah. And it's affecting them down the line though too. Like, there's a lot of guys who can't snowboard now because they gotten so broken off, and if there's something that can, stop that in the future, maybe it's beneficial. But then for the guys who work that hard to get to where they are, and now there's kids coming up that don't have to go through that, like, you're going, like, looking at what you just went through and then seeing someone that can get to where you are without going through that. Yeah. It's probably pretty hard to see, but I don't know. It could be for a better future, but. Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
I think there's a lot that's put on those kind of things, like, other external stuff that's like, oh, the bag's causing bad style, or the bag's causing kids to do tricks that they shouldn't be doing in the first place.
That's a valid
But
point.
I think a lot of that is up to the snowboarder. Like, the bag's not giving you a bad style. Like, you're choosing to ride with bad style. If you want to have good style, you put the time in, you get there and things like that. Yeah. But I don't know. That's a contested subject, and I don't think there's any real right answer too. Like, I think there's pros and there's definitely cons to it. Like, there's 100%. I mean, they had one up on the glacier this year, and there's definitely, I spent some time on it. There's a couple other people spending time on it, but definitely has its place.
Yeah. Did you hit the landing one?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's much better than the flat bag.
Flat?
Flat bags are not very good. It's not really that similar to jumping. Usually you have to make the takeoff really steep, so that when you land on the bag, you're not going across it. And then, like, you're not angling your tricks into a landing as much.
Yeah, you're almost landing like flat, or if you nosedive,
you
just get rattled.
Yeah, totally. But the landing bag, like, you can, like, it's a normal jump. You can spot your tricks as you would. You can land your tricks. Yeah. Land your tricks. You can land on your feet. It's not actually doing the trick, of course. Yeah. But for us, I mean, we were just trying to take opportunity where we could. Like, the jump we had in Whistler Valley, you could, like, get some tens around pretty quick, but it was hard to, like, really have some hang time. Yeah. Like, I think the gap was like 20, 25 feet in Whistler Valley, and we were probably going like 50 to 60 feet on the airbag, and we didn't have access to the momentum jump and things like that. So it was just like, well, this is the best chance we have to at least get some hours on the tricks, and in a relatively safe manner. Like, they can still hurt you. My buddy Jesse got pretty messed up on it, but
I know a lot of people. Ankles have been a thing.
Yeah,
or, like, twisting ankles and everything on the
airbag. That's the one danger, is if it's not slick, it can grab you. So, like, say you put a hand out, it can grab your hand, or if you land and your board stays where it is. That's what happened to Jesse. Hurt his ankle really bad. So I don't know. I'm definitely open to it, but I wouldn't say that it's a for sure or not for sure.
Well, and I know, like, the one thing that people always talk about, they're like, oh, we got to keep snowboarding fun, and we can't have this, like, who can do the most corks and everything. It's like, why can't you have both? Like,
totally.
It's not like people stopped making because style versus spin to win. It's like, it's not like people just stopped doing style. You can still find those videos. You can still find, if anything, there's more
out there.
There's more of that snowboarding than there's ever been.
100%.
And it's like, okay, if you don't want to see the Olympics and have snowboarding in the Olympics, don't watch it.
No, I think there's room for everyone. That's
exactly,
like
100%.
There's enough room for guys who just want to do, like, dope front threes, and I'm all for it, and like really beautiful snowboarding, because I think that's amazing. And then there's room for the guys who are like, they love to spin because it's fun. Like, getting in the vortex, we're just like,
100%. I've never span over a 10.
Yeah, but it's I mean, still, like, even a 1080, like, you're spinning, man. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. My whole thing with bags, like, I mean, it's pretty short. And pretty much, like, if there's something out there that can mean that me and the people around me can have more fun in their snowboard for longer with less risk, then I think that
that's
balances
really
the
valid
pros and
point.
cons.
Yeah.
That like if you can save those like life, career, not career, like snowboarding ending injuries
Oh,
or
100%.
snowboarding delaying injuries
Yeah.
by just going and riding this thing for a short period of time.
Well,
then maybe it makes sense, but there's definitely overuse out there for sure.
yeah.
It's kind of
and that's kind of coming in all sports. Like I know, I believe it was the CFL. They took out tackling.
Oh, really?
In practice.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, I don't know if that's still a thing. I know that there's talks about it. I think they did take it out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what is NFL going to do that?
To minimize the amount of trauma.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
and a big thing I know with UFC fighters and like with fighters is their training.
Yeah.
Because some camps like they'll go in and it'll
Yeah.
just be full on. Like
Oh,
you're
really?
getting kicked and beaten up and like like you guys are taking it out of each other. Well, other camps are like, okay, we're not going to do that as much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you're in a high impact sport like football, like UFC, it's like
you've only got so many hits you can take in your career.
But you got to be training, I guess, in a way for what you're going up against, like for what you're preparing for.
Well, boxers talk about that. Like the more hits you take, the better you are at taking a hit.
Yeah.
But like so if you haven't been training for a while, then you're so much more susceptible to getting a bad hit.
Yeah.
But then also if you take too many big hits, then you stop being able to take them. So it's like this fine line that it seems like everyone runs of being like constantly taking impact so that you can take it and not taking too much so that your body rejects it, kind of thing.
100%. And I think which is kind of cool in all sports, what they're doing is getting young athletes to learn how to fall or how to take a hit. I remember in hockey, like growing up, and we would full on do drills where you'd go up the boards and you just have someone hitting you, and you would learn how to take the hit up against the boards the whole entire time.
Yeah,
which is like really, really smart and really good for the kids, and like not to turn into the boards and everything and get rammed from behind. And same thing with snowboarding. Like it's crazy how people don't think of falling as such a huge skill in snowboarding. Like learning how to fall is a massive skill in snowboarding.
Yeah, being able to roll out of something and not get beat up. I see it the most in skating. Those guys are so good at taking, like, because they fall so much, but they're like able to like roll out of everything to the point that they can fall like 10, 15 times on a trick and not get hurt. Yeah. Versus like in snowboarding, we definitely fall, but I feel like we don't fall as much.
And the way you fall in skateboarding too is like you're usually never really landing on a landing. It's usually straight into the ground.
Yes, you have to be able to manage that really well.
Yeah,
it's funny. There's another podcast and they're talking about how gnarly snowboarding is and how like all the falls are so like massive and crazy. I was like, dude, come on! Like skating is way gnarlier.
It depends though. And this is the whole like. We might think that, but then there's some surfer who might be like, "Dude, snowboarding's crazy! I can't believe you guys do that." And we're like, "Look what your guys are doing."
Yeah, it's all you're used to.
Exactly, it's what you're used to, and we've fallen before, and we kind of know how to fall.
Yeah.
But you got to think maybe some, beginner went up there for the first time and just hooked their toe edge and just got destroyed on the ice, and they're like, "I can't believe you guys do that sport. That's the craziest sport ever." So it's totally what you're used to.
Yeah. And like what's really a high risk and what's not a high risk.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
exactly.
Like something that may seem crazy from the outside is like, no, actually, like the way that works is not very dangerous. Yeah. But then like they'll see something that looks chill, and you're like, actually, if you blew it there, you probably would have died. Yeah.
Well, and that's a big mountain riding. Like you gotta think like when you're up on exposed terrain,
all the different factors as far as like snow signs and stuff like that, and how things are gonna go.
Yeah, and then you have a whole nother factor. It's like, okay, not only is it my riding, but it's reading the snow. And that's another thing that I'm finding too, like, kind of getting more into backcountry and everything, is how big reading the snow is such a crucial skill. Totally. When you're up on, big faces and everything like that.
Yeah. I think it was a big change for me, like, when I grew up in Rosslyn. Like, I mean, you grew up in Terrace. Is there much alpine in, like, Terrace that you can get to? Yeah. 100%. So, like, at Red, no alpine. Like, the top of like granite maybe is like very subalpine, but most of the riding you're doing is in the trees. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like learned to ride POW and snowboarding
in the trees.
So I remember coming out here and like, if you're in a big open face and you see like a little bump or something like that, I would be like, oh, dude, that's probably like back home where it's like a stump or something, but it's been covered with enough snow because it's consistent. There's no wind. Then I can air off of this and it's dope. But then out here, it'd be like, that's a rock, and you just smoke a rock or something like that.
100%.
So like learning how to read the mountain, like that, it took me a while to read Whistler versus like reading red,
Yeah.
and how the snowfall is different than how the train rides.
Yeah.
There's so much, like novelty to the beginner is anything new, but then novelty to the expert is nuance, like all the little like fine things that you get to see out there. It's really cool.
And that's the whole thing with any sport is like you can always keep learning, it's infinite.
Dude, that's why I think like if you're down to learn, I think any sport can be infinite, especially snowboarding. Like I don't know anyone that can do all the tricks, you know what I mean? And or knows everything about it. So it's pretty cool.
And like even if they can do say all the tricks, and this is always like when Ontario kids come out here. It's always so good. And they're just like you'll see them. They're just insane. Hitting the biggest jumps in Whistler. Doing 10s, 12s, 14s, and everything. And you bring them into the backcountry.
Yeah.
And they're like on top of like a little tiny cliff, and they're looking over the end.
Oh yeah.
And for me, I'm just like, just drop it.
Yeah.
But then like for them, they're probably like, what the heck? And then vice versa. Like I'll be in the park and I'm like, oh my gosh, this jump's huge. And they're like, dude, you just gotta go fast. Like that's all you gotta do.
It's simple. Just point your board straight.
Point your board. What do you mean you can't do that? And you're just like, oh my god. Like,
no, there's so much balance.
Yeah.
Even like hit runs and stuff, seeing how people turn down the mountain and whatnot.
Yeah, hit runs is definitely a cool way to see how
people snowboard, how people read the mountain. Like Darcy's really good for that. He rides a hit run like nobody else.
Darcy, and I've said this before, shout out to Darcy. Probably one of the most entertaining snowboarders to ever watch. Like if you put him up against anyone, just be like, okay, you guys are going down this random part of the mountain.
He'll make it the best run
He will put down a run. He will put down a run. Like he'll do any trick you want.
He makes places look silly. He's probably got the most shout outs in this podcast. It's funny. No, I remember last year when Jersey Spring Park was happening, we had our buddies Cy or Ann and Asher Humphreys in town. Really good dudes. They're so funny. Anyways, that day that we shot that Weekenders video, Darcy was on. He was firing. When Darcy's on, it's just insane. So just at the end of the day, we're riding down from Jersey Park to the parking lot, and it was psycho. He's like airing out of the woods, like he did that crazy like log hop pop in.
I saw that.
And I remember, and then one time we're just going down the run, he just off and goes, like literally just ollied into the woods, no run out, just goes tomahawking through it, back onto the cat track, just like yelling, just so stoked. And we get down to the bottom, and those two boys, Cy and Asher, are just like, I didn't know you could snowboard like that. They're like, I am fans of Darcy. Like we were homies before, like I'm a fan. Like I want to go unfollow him just to follow him on Instagram, just from the shit I just watched. They just thought it was so cool to see someone read the mountain like that.
And this is, what we were talking about, with tennis and with like a lot of these sports, is when you see someone playing it so, like same with the F1, when they're going around that corner and it's so tight.
So on the line.
It looks like, so on the line. And that's exactly how he rides. Exactly how he rides.
Darcy is the king of almost dying and not dying. Looking like everything's going to shit, but then surviving. Like he's so good for that.
Oh my gosh.
I remember a couple of years ago, we were on the glacier, and it was a really bad snow year. So there was like so much ice showing everywhere.
And he would bomb it?
Yeah, so like ice in the glacier is not like ice mid-mountain, like in the midwinter where it's all smooth. Glacier ice is like so rough, and there's water running everywhere. It's like rocks in it. And I remember he came across from the COC lane across the Horseman T-bar. And the Horseman T-bar is built into a bank like that. And it was all ice down to public. And he comes off, he goes back 3 off the lane, lands, and is just like bucking back and forth, like arms going in the air, just moto it, bah, 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 bah. And I'm just like, dude, Darcy's gonna die. And then saves it, comes in, front blunt 270 on the rail, and just like keeps riding. And I was like, dude, how do you snowboard like so on the edge? But then, oh man, he's good shit. That's what like I think there's so many snowboarding will be forever, because there's guys that can ride like that, and there's guys that can ride like Mike, who's just like such beautiful snowboarding and
style and just consistent too.
Have you noticed any parallels snowboarding to business, like things that you've learned from snowboarding that have applied to business?
Oh yeah, 100%. A lot of like life skills. I feel like seeing something grow. Like I'm not saying that my business is flourishing, but just like okay, it started from here, and then I took the first step and I registered it, and then we took the next step, and just kind of seeing it grow and progress. Well, same thing with snowboarding. It's all right. Like it's so funny. How I got into snowboarding was I kind of grew up playing hockey. I have pretty bad ankles,
Okay.
Basically, my foot's pronated.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like
it's hard on your ankles.
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So hockey was really really hard. Like I couldn't really play for like if I did like a practice in a game the same day, I was like. Even now, it's funny. I'll like kind of like hobble around if I do a lot of sports.
You go get home and you're like, okay, I need some ice on these bad boys. Yeah.
And so I got into snowboarding, and because you have so much support from your boot and your binding, it didn't really hurt as much.
Yeah.
Like I can feel like I can snowboard all day and everything.
And they'll handle it.
Yeah, they'll handle it pretty well.
Yeah.
So I remember going up. I was probably 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Like just kooking out, like not knowing what was going on, like how to get off a chairlift or anything like that. I remember I'm sitting there after falling about 100 times, all cold and wet and over it. I'm like, this sucks. I can't believe people do this. And I saw this guy just like doing a turn. And I'm like, okay, if I could turn, I'm done with it. Like, I just want to learn how to turn.
You just want to learn how to turn.
I just want to do one turn. As soon as I do a turn, then I'm never going to snowboard again.
Yeah.
Then you do that turn, you're like, all right, if I could get air, then I never want to snowboard again. And then you kind of get air, and you're like, oh, this is cool. And then it just, you keep learning,
Yeah, totally.
And the whole kind of like exploration of it too, like, all right, we're going to go down this run. We've never done this before. And that's kind of the same thing with business. Okay, we're going to try this. Try this marketing scheme, see if that works. And that's
really the progression of it that you see that.
Progression of it. And just seeing, something kind of grow.
That's what I love about snowboarding most.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. 100%. And obviously, adding your own, I don't know, you could say like adding your own style to it. Like, hey, I like to do this. I'm going to keep doing it this way. And I don't really like doing this too much, so I'm not going to do that as much. So that stuff is all relative.
Yeah, it's nice to find your own way in something too, where you feel like you've got a formula that works for you, and you can apply that to things. Like, I think there's something that feels good about that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed even with this. Like, I've done 10 videos, and like, dude, I want to do 20 now. Like, it's just the progression side of it's really cool. And you're like, oh, this got like 5 more viewers. Like, that's sick. It's moving forward.
Well, and that's another, and also the people you meet. The people you meet in snowboarding, the people you meet in business.
That's huge.
It's just the people I meet at the bar, like
and
stuff like that. Like that whole, like I've had people come into. Well, I've had Connor McDavid come into Garf's and stuff like that. I've had Stamkos come into Garfinkel's and stuff like that. So all that stuff is just kind of like when you put yourself out there and you kind of learning. You meet different people that have different thoughts and different way of thinking, and all of that you can kind of take in, and you do whatever you want with it, basically.
Yeah, I agree though. There's so much value in that, just to meeting new different people.
Yeah,
but you have to kind of actively seek it, like you said. Like, you still have to put yourself out there to the point that
100%
you can start it off.
Yeah, and so much of and I know you and Sam talked about it. Like, snowboarding is a business.
Yeah, it is 100%. Totally.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like, you can go snowboard and just have fun with your friends. You can totally do that. Yeah. But if you want to, kind of be a part of like the snowboard scene, you want to, say if you want to, take sponsors, try to go pro, or if you want to be like, hey, I just want to work, doing editing or anything like that, you gotta,
find your space in the scene.
Exactly, and FaceTime and just learning and talking to people is so crucial.
I remember I was watching this video with Tony Hawk, and that was one of his biggest advice for people who wanted to just succeed in their area, whether it's business or sports. And he said just to really try to understand every single aspect of it. So even though it may not be like the thing that you like about it, or you think the things that you think is cool, just to really understand it and learn and be willing to go deep into all facets of it. So I mean, it is a part about snowboarding, 100%. And if you can make it work to your advantage, then you're better off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's tough because you are, especially in snowboarding, where you're balancing something that's like so passion driven, and you love it so much, and it is gnarly. Like, there's stuff on the line for sure, and then to balance that with the business side, it's.
And that's another thing. Like you were saying, like learning every aspect of it and learning where these people are coming from, and this is. I filmed a web series a couple years ago.
Oh yeah.
And the battle between the filmer and the rider is never ending. Yeah. The filmer has what he has in mind, what he wants. Totally. And it's gonna look like this, while the rider's like, okay, I want it to look like this. And it's so hard to try to for them to communicate is just
competing visions of this guy wants to see it that way, that guy wants to see it that way.
Yeah.
That's really tough to learn how to work with people.
Yeah, and but that's a huge life skill. You're gonna have to work with people, in any job environment. Like that is crucial.
I think that's one thing you learn with, like, I mean, in competitive snowboarding, if you've got a good coach, like, you build a relationship with them, and you have to learn to, like, I think one thing that I'm really trying to strive towards is just being the best learner I can be.
Yeah.
So being able to, like, take the feedback that I'm getting from a coach and then, like, no ego, just apply it to my snowboarding.
Yeah.
So, like, I may be struggling at a jump because I'm, you know, scared it's messing up my takeoff, and for him to say, like, yo, like, you know, this is what's the issue, instead of going like, no man, it's the jump, just listening to him and taking it in. And being able to go back and forth with someone is huge, and that can apply to any part of life.
And like what you're saying, like putting yourself in their shoes and being like, okay, like, why is he thinking of it like this? And that's actually one interesting thing. I'm trying to remember who said it, but like for jobs, CEO said that we don't hire people to tell them what to do. We hire them for them to tell us what to do, which is really, really smart, because you think about it. Okay, if you're hiring a specialist in marketing or in design or in, you know, in any field, all right, they're the specialist. All right, totally. They're coming in, and not obviously saying that you're not going to totally change your whole business model, but you're bringing them in to add to your team. All right, being like, okay, this person, I'm not going to go in there and be like, this is how you have to do things. Like, you're bringing them in to help you. So you're trying to gain
their information.
Exactly. You're trying to get their information and be like, okay, this is how this person thinks, and, you know, that makes sense.
That's really cool.
I kind of heard that one.
I listened to a TED Talk with a guy named Cole Bennett. And he started this thing called Lyrical Lemonade when he was in high school, and he sort of built it to now this, you know, pretty amazing business. But throughout his time, you know, his whole talk is on mindset. Like, when things happen, you can either be the glass half full guy or the glass half empty guy. And then he also found that there's another two types of people, not only the glass half full and the glass half empty, but there's the people who want to be understood, and then there's the people who want to understand. And he said, like, he met Mark Cuban and a bunch of other really high successful people. And he said it's always a mix. Like, they both want to understand and be understood, but mostly they want to understand. And that's what he thought was amazing, was he was a 17-year-old kid meeting these really successful people, and they just wanted to listen to him. They wanted to take the time. Like, he spent 3 hours with Mark Cuban or something, just talking. And he was going, this is crazy. This is Mark Cuban. Like, he knows so much. Why is he listening to me? He said it's because he's one guy that wants to understand. He wants to gain all the knowledge from the people around him.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I think also, and especially in the era where we have the internet and all this stuff is so easy and accessible. Like, if you want to learn, you know, from the very best, you know, basketball players, or you want to learn from the very best engineers, or you can full on follow them on Instagram or follow them, like, on a blog or whatever it is, and, like, you can communicate with them, or you can learn straight from the source that you like.
Dude, I love the internet. Like, YouTube's an amazing thing where you can see into the mind of someone that you could never see before. That was what really got me into podcasts. Was I was like, especially when they started to come into snowboarding, I was like, these are people, you know, I've been lucky enough to be surrounded by some amazing snowboarders, but there's other snowboarders that I'm like, I would have never gotten to know who this guy is. And now through this podcast he's on, I feel like I can see a piece of him and can, like, see into his mind a bit more than I would have before. That was always, I just thought, like, I listened to the MFM podcast, or the F and Rad snowboarding podcast, and he brings on MFM, and it was just so cool to, like, hear that guy's story, and I was like, that's something I would have never been able to see before, you know, the internet and podcasts and all that whole thing.
Did you hear that Apple is looking at buying out a bunch of podcasts?
Really?
Yeah, they're basically trying to it's funny, Spotify stocks dropped a little bit. They dropped like 3%.
Because is Apple buying up the market pretty much?
Well, yeah, they want to, like, just get exclusive podcasts, like, just for Apple.
Wow.
So I don't know.
There's a couple
end up on the Apple podcast and they buy you out, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, man, there's so many, like, this, like, I only say it goes to Apple and Spotify, but it goes to separate different platforms, but I'm just like, I know that people only care about a couple, but there's a new podcasting platform that's coming out that's like a paywall system. So pretty much the people that do podcasts on this platform only put their podcasts to this platform, and to listen to them, you have to go through a paywall. It's an interesting thing. I mean, like, everyone has their own way to monetize their different stuff.
Yeah,
but
like how big are they? Like, do they have a pretty big following and stuff? Because I think that's well, that's exactly what Apple's trying to do here. Is they're just like, well, we don't really want competition.
Yeah.
So same thing with Netflix. Like, we're gonna try to buy the best content we can, so people have to come to us.
If you want to see it,
Exactly.
you gotta go. Yeah.
Which the streaming industry is going to be interesting, because Disney's coming out with Disney XD.
Yeah, totally.
A little bit. And then I know that they are pulling all their Disney stuff off of Netflix.
Wow. Yeah. It's so competitive, man.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's interesting for the creator too. Like I was listening to, like, I'm pretty sure it was Sam Harris who has, no, it must not have been Sam Harris because he has his on a bunch of platforms. But anyways, it was with Joe Rogan, and the guy was going like, I know for you, Joe, you use the advertising platform. Like, advertisers pay you, you put ads in your stuff. That's how you make your money. But he's like, for me and my content, like, I don't like the advertiser model doesn't work for me. So he's like, but this paywall model works really well for me. So it is cool in the sense that, like, there's more opportunity for a creator. Like, they can choose to go either way. But yeah, it's the whole monetizing whatever you're into is a really interesting thing. Like how to monetize either your lifestyle, your certain area.
And if you want to get more into it, like the whole ads.
Yeah.
Like for Google to be like, oh, you like snowboarding? Well, here's all snowboarding content. Oh, you like hockey? Well, here's all. Yeah. Like the fact that you're just a target. Totally. And they're just taking data straight from you and just sending it straight back to them and being like, hey, Connor, follows these people on Instagram. We're going to keep sending him this stuff.
Dude, that stuff's crazy. Because, like, I have, like, so many different accounts linked to my Google account that I'll, like, search something up here and I'll see, like, a YouTube video for it. And I'm like, it's just crazy how targeted you can be. Yeah.
And, like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And, like,
from a marketer's side, like, you're on that side where you're, like, trying to, target people. Is it an overwhelming amount of tools, or is it just like, is it pretty easy for you?
Like, I wouldn't say that like I'm good. Like, obviously we can get better at it. And, like, there's people that they must be checking, keywords every single day and be like, we need to switch these ones. Yeah. And that's something that we, as we grow, we want to get better at, is kind of making the most out of the money you're spending. That's
where I would say I'm somewhat poor. I kind of like think that like quality content at the end of the day will do well no matter what. Like, even 100%. Though the marketing, like, if you provide value to someone, whether or not it's marketed well or whatever, but I do think there is value too in like I said, being competent in every single area. So not only having quality content but knowing how to market it well. Like, you're just gonna grow
if
more.
You get both. Like, I just finished the Starbucks book with Richard Howard. Yeah, no, and that was like that's one thing that he talks about is, okay, we got quality coffee, but now we're just going to market it. And, like, his whole thing was, making sure that everything's ethical, getting ethical beans and all this stuff. And but you look at the value of marketing, same thing with Apple. It's like, okay, you can get an iPhone with, from Huawei or totally. From anywhere else.
Yeah, smartphone from anywhere.
Smartphone from anywhere.
Yeah.
For, a third of the price. Yeah. But as soon as you put that Apple logo, and the way that they marketed it is just, everyone wants it. Like, there's so many Apple people that are just all over it. And and that's
Apple. You're selling like a life. You're selling something. You're selling the image, the lifestyle.
But that's all through marketing and through adding value to your brand. Yeah. Which is same thing with Disney. Same thing with all these guys.
Yeah. Then it adds a different level of value. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's multifaceted. It's quite interesting. I can see why, like, you're like enjoying it, because there is so much. Like, if you're into it, you can go kind of all in. Hey?
Yeah, no, 100%. And the sky's the limit. Like, you can just.
That must be nice. Yeah.
Well, and the one thing that's kind of cool about business is it's like exponential. Yeah. Like, the more, to a point, obviously, but like the more you keep growing. Yeah. Okay. Well, now you have more money. Now you can use your money to expand faster. And that was a big thing with Starbucks. That they were making 3 stores a day. They were opening up 3 stores a day.
That's crazy. Just the amount of growth at that point.
Yeah.
And they could, I guess there's eventually, like, it's not infinite, but you can always be progressing farther and farther.
Well, that was one of the, like, it's called Onward, the book.
Oh, okay.
And that was, obviously they came into the 2008 recession. Yeah. And he kind of talked about, because he left and then came back. Yeah. And now he's left again. looking at maybe running as an independent.
Oh, really?
For the election. I don't know if that's totally confirmed.
Yeah.
Because they're scared it might split the vote, but.
Oh man, politics is a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely money makes money. Basically.
Yeah.
100%.
If you're willing to reinvest something.
And that's one thing that I kind of got more business minded. I've always been interested in it, like even in high school. But then moving here, it was kind of like, oh, I'm just going to snowboard. Like, that's what I'm going to focus on. And probably a couple of years ago, probably like 3 years ago, it was kind of like, oh, I'd like to start my own business kind of thing.
Yeah.
And one thing I realized is once you kind of get over that hump, like as you're going, you know, it obviously costs money to live.
Yeah, totally.
And if you're making just enough money to get by, you're never ever going to get out of that hole. But if you can start making money and then get over that hump, well, then you're set.
Yeah.
You know, then you can get more assets, you can get more things going that is bringing you revenue.
Right.
And then after that, then it's, you know, exponential.
Yeah. Yeah, and breaking that threshold, it was nice. Like, I guess it probably depends on the avenue, like the real estate market. Your threshold to get in, like get over that hump, is like, especially in this, like just a down payment is like $50,000 or something within this market, which is cool. Why you said, like, you know, you're able to get in for like $2,000 was your, you know, kind of your buy into your business, and then you got over that hump, you can make your money, and then it's easier to get over the next hump and things like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Have you found it hard to balance, like, I mean, the three industries you're in with, like, I mean, not, you know, you have your snowboarding, which I'm sure you love, and then you got that, you know, Garth's nightclub life, and then you got your the business. Like, is that tough to balance between all three?
It's not too bad. Like the nightclub, obviously, I just work late hours.
Yeah, it's tough for the sleep schedule, for sure.
Yeah, the sleep schedule is a bit of an interesting one, going to bed at 4 a.m. every night.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, ideally, I like to wake up at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been 10 a.m. Lately, I've been waking up a lot later.
Yeah.
But then my girlfriend, she'll go to work, and then I'll usually get all like my Beachdaze stuff done there.
Yeah.
And then when she gets home, then, you know, we kind of have like free time, like, you know, play tennis and go enjoy it. And that's, as you're saying, balancing it.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, is like, you know, taking time out, you know, going playing paintball.
Yeah, with the boys.
With the boys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I'm overworked by any means. And the thing is like I enjoy working.
Yeah.
Like that's a.
It brings you passion, so it's not like, oh shit, like I gotta go. It's like, I get to do this. I'm excited to do this.
And you go to bed that night and you're like, oh, I did something today.
Yeah.
Even if, like, say, you know, like I try to put up content on Beachdaze Instagram, say every day, but usually one every 2 days.
Yeah.
And if I do that, it's just like, okay, I did something today, you know.
You're
like,
one step closer. You're a little bit better than you were the day before.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, and just, as you said, keep growing it.
That's cool, that parallel progression, because
And with snowboarding, like, summertime's the best for me to kind of buckle down and
there's not as
get
much.
some money.
Yeah. Good for the towel business too.
Yeah, summertime. Exactly. Good for that.
Yeah.
But snowboarding, I definitely can make time for it. It's, I don't know, 24 hours in a day. Like, even if you do 2 hours towel business, like usually like a long shift at Garth's would be 6 hours, 7 hours. Right. Like, the last time I've done an 8 hour shift at Garth's is it's ages ago. So say 6 hours. So that's what, 8 hours right there. That's usually what people take to do for a day. So like time is fungible. You just pull it from wherever you want. Yeah. Invest it where you'd like. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, that's fun. I can see if it's still rolling just to make sure, but it's been great. Okay. No, this is fun. I'm stoked. It's cool, eh? It's something unique. Yeah. I just took a break to make sure it was all rolling. We're all good. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to speak on that you had in your mind? I don't know. I could keep going. I'm having a good time. Yeah. No, I'd love to keep going. All right. We could talk about, I don't know, nightclub industry. Like, all the stories from there for sure. Yeah, dude. I'd love to hear some stories. That's what I'm. Oh, I know what I could actually talk about. Okay. This is another thing. Like, you're talking about balance and like kind of having fun in your life and everything like that. Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of you guys know or like follow someone who's like that serious like entrepreneur, like Ty Lopez, like
dude, yeah,
just here in my
over
garage,
the top,
over the top, like never stop working like hard.
Yeah.
So I kind of made like a spoof to that, like a funny thing called your boy Pala.
Oh yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And how it all started is we had this is taken in the Instagram and the nightclub Garf's. So I was working at Garf's.
Yeah.
And so an average shift at Garf's is like get in there at 9 at night and work till like 3:30.
Yeah.
So
good 6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a Friday night, super mellow.
Yeah.
I get in and this guy comes up, and it's funny the people that you meet there. There's like there's types of people. Right?
Okay.
This guy comes in, Hugo Boss shirt, Gucci wallet, and everything, just flaunting.
Yeah.
He's so down. He's just so ready to like show off.
Look at me.
Yeah, exactly. And he comes in, he's just like, and he talks like this. I want to spend money, baby. You want to spend money?
Oh,
I'm
man.
just like, all right, man. You want to spend money? Buy out the gondola, which is like one of the VIP booths.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'll do it. And it's just like a mellow Friday. Like there's maybe like 20, 30 people on the dance floor. Like
nice
no one
upsell.
else.
Yeah.
So he goes over there,
Yeah.
buys it out, and he's sitting there. And I kid you not, he like pulls out a wad of cash, like fans it, and starts fanning himself with this wad of cash.
Dude.
And we're sitting there, we're just like, there's no way. Like he's not serious, and he's full on just like all like
just flexing
into
on
it,
it.
flexing so hard.
Yeah.
And he ends up trying to fight a couple people.
No
and we're just
way.
like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, and then he starts like kind of chirping off like the staff and just being a total idiot. Just we're like, all right, man, you gotta go.
Yeah.
So we start kicking him out, and as he's getting kicked out, he starts going, I spent 7 racks at Gucci, baby, 7 racks. Where do you guys shop? Foot Locker?
He's just trying to flex
just
on you.
flexing as he's getting kicked out, and he's just like, I'll show you my bank account right now. And everyone's like, dude, no one cares. Like, like cool. Like, so they kick him out, and he's just out front of the bar, just walking back and forth.
Live it.
And they're just like, dude, get out of here. And he turns and he spits in one of the door guys' face.
No.
And all of these guys, like probably like 3 or 4 of them, just grabbed him and just pummeled him.
Yeah, dude, I bet.
Then the cops came by and they told him what happened. He got arrested.
Oh, no way.
So and like, so just that whole, like I spent 7 racks at Gucci, like that was kind of the whole like, over
that's
the
what
top.
started.
So that's kind of what started
He's
your
the
boy Power.
inspiration.
That was the inspiration for it. So
yeah,
you can see it out, and I know I just act like I'm a big baller and just like do ridiculous things.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to check it out. It's your boy Pala.
Your boy Pala.
That's
fun. That must
be a funny one. But there's so many funny stories from Garf's.
Do you see like I mean, you see people at their peak when they're really
and that's a weird thing. It's like your normal customer is at least a few shots deep, to say the least.
Yeah, he's a
so
little
it's just like
bit,
I remember really with sober people, and and we're not allowed to drink there, which I really like.
It's better for business. Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like your average day at work is compared to the
Do you have like a craziest thing you've ever seen, like when it comes up and you're just
I don't know, like we've had a lot of like not a lot, but definitely fights and brawls and stuff like that.
That's gnarly.
I know that's probably the funniest story is that guy getting kicked out.
Yeah, that's the best shit.
Like that was just seeing him fanning himself with a wad of cash.
Over the top.
Outrageous. Like in an empty nightclub. Like, who are you impressing, man?
Yeah, you're not doing anyone any favors.
That's crazy. Definitely some fights and I don't know, nothing.
An average night too is like you just pretty mellow, you get the job done, and
exactly. Obviously, I don't know. There's some frustrating times because, as you said, you're dealing with intoxicated people.
Yeah,
they can definitely be frustrating.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But I don't know. You make it work. It's funny. Like we're allowed to kind of kick people out and kind of lose it on someone,
Yeah.
Like,
well, fair play,
Yeah. Like if they're being stupid, like I've never ever like power tripped or anything like that, but
you're like, don't like that guy, you out of here.
Yeah. But like there's been times where like tip jars. That's probably the biggest one. People stealing tip jars.
Oh shit!
If you see it, you're just like jump the bar and you'll just grab them.
Yeah, toss it down.
Get every like get everyone on and just throw
Have you ever had anyone jump your bar? Like jump in and try and steal something like booze or anything like
yeah,
that?
yeah, people will reach over the bar. I'm trying to... There was one person, I can't remember what they were doing, but they were in behind the bar.
Okay.
This guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was really weird. He like just came in behind the bar and I kind of looked over and I was like, what the hell? Like, someone get this guy out of here. He just I don't even think he was trying to steal anything. I didn't even know what he wanted, but I was just
got
like,
back there. I was like,
yeah, but I was just like, dude, get this guy out of here. So,
holy man.
but yeah, no, definitely some big nights down at the Garfinkel.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Good
The boys
times.
love it. They had a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
yeah. Like I always love when you guys come in. It's always like it's funny. Like there'll be times where I'm just like, oh, this night sucks. Like it'll just be like bad customers, people just not tipping, just being really really irritable. Like I don't. Another big thing is just a lot of people just don't understand how to get drinks from the bar. Like they'll go stand, in a far corner by a dishwasher.
Yeah.
And then they'll wait there for like half an hour and then get upset with you. Be like, yo, why didn't you serve me? And you're like, hey, well, there's 100 people at the bar. I'm not going to walk all the way down to a dishwasher so I can come serve one person and come all the way back. Like you kind of got to understand it. So for people watching, bar etiquette.
Young Palace, crash course.
Go to the bar, try to go as close to a bar well as you can, because that's the easiest. If you serve and I'm right here and I can make you your drink, it's super easy. Instead of me having to walk, 20 feet down, make you your drink and then come back.
Nice.
Another big thing is cash is a lot easier than card. If you have cash in your hand, it's easy for us to be like, okay, this guy knows what he wants.
It's quick. You're going to go to that guy.
And knowing what you want is just a huge thing, because there's nothing worse than, hey, what are you after? I don't really know. What do you guys have?
Yeah.
And you're just like...
Yeah, especially like in an area where it's like Garf's, where it's loud, it's just bump. Yeah.
And then, okay, we'll get 11 I had this the other night.
Yeah.
Can we get 11 tequila shots separate on card? And I was just like, no, sorry. Not going to do that.
You can't. Yeah.
Like when it's busy like that.
Yeah. No, you got to make a call.
Yeah, 100%.
That's good though. Be clean, concise.
Yeah.
Go to the zone. That's how you get your drinks.
Go to the zone. Know your drinks.
Yeah.
And I don't know, if it's easy when like it's just straight across the board, like 8 vodka sodas, stuff like that. That's
dope. Hey?
So like obviously I'm not expecting everyone to do that. I understand.
Yeah, people
want different drinks. And
they want their
like
Negronis. They want their
But no, that's definitely one thing. It's just go there, know your order it.
Yeah.
And another little thing for those that are unaware, tip your bartender good at the beginning. They're more than likely to come help you as soon as possible. Like I had this one guy come in, and it's funny, you'll be like mid pour of a drink and you'll see someone who's just tipping really well. And this one guy came up to the bar, and he was with his girlfriend and his other buddy, and you could just tell like really nice clothes and everything, but just really polite and legend.
Yeah.
So I go up and I take his order and I'm like, oh, what are you after? And he, buys Class Azul, like really nice tequila and everything. I'm like, all right, this guy's obviously...
He knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend's like, oh, can I get like a wine? And I was like, oh, we only have champagne by the bottle.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, what do you have? And I'm like, all right, so I list them all.
Yeah.
He buys her a $200 bottle of champagne.
Wow.
And I was like, you want like glasses? He's like, no, just a straw. So he puts the straw and the girl's just sitting there like, with a big bottle of champagne. And he ended up buying a table and dropped like $4,000.
Yeah.
But the thing was, it was funny because he bought a bottle of Ace of Spades.
Okay.
And he wanted like the big one. He's like, oh, I just want you to pour it out for everyone. Like I want people to have a good time. And he was just...
Dude, that's so sick. But that's the difference between like, Young Pala's Inspo and like this dude who both have money, but like one dude's a real gentleman about it. And like you're way more stoked to help that guy out.
Yeah, 100%. And that's another thing. Like we usually like people that are like proper rich. Yeah. Usually don't flaunt it because they don't care. It's like they know they have money. Like they're not like out there to like prove anything. Like,
they're going back to money. Dope ass house.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't really care to,
Well, people
flex
that
cigar.
Maybe it's like new money. Like we always say that term, like new money, or like people that
fresh into it.
Yeah, or maybe they're like kind of rich. They're like they want to like flaunt it. They want to show off and everything like that. Which I don't know. I don't really.
Yeah, teach their own. But not to me. That's for sure.
It's super good.
Yeah, I mean that's all scene that I don't see much of, but I definitely it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, you definitely get people from I don't know. You have like other bartenders that come in. That's another one. Like it's funny. the tricks you kind of learn bartending, like, because obviously your main objective is to make your bar as much money as possible, that you kind of want to make sure that you're getting taken care of as well.
Totally, you want to help out everyone involved.
Exactly.
But yeah,
and it's like when the boys come in, like always, like give them drinks and everything like that.
That's good for everyone.
Yeah. And which is good because, well, it's good for me because I like when you guys come in and they have a big following and you guys all have know people. Dude, so when if Burton comes in or say if DC comes in, it's like, oh, we're gonna go to Garfinkel's because that's where a good place to go is.
These days, Garf's is the spot. It's not like oh, let's go here. It's like this night. It's like we're going to Garf's. Where should we go? Well, we're gonna go to Garf's for sure. It's just where do we go before Garf's? Kind of thing. Which is cool. I feel like I'm sure you had a big part in that and like the management there and stuff like that.
Quachi and Baz, they've definitely done well.
No, dude, it was so funny.
Paul Stoker.
I was on the Momentum T-Bar. I was with one of the skiers, one of the filmers. He goes, dude, were you at Garf's last night? And I was like, no, I wasn't there. And he goes, snowboarders were on. He was like, they owned that place last night. He's like, he just said they were firing. I was like, damn, that's sick.
And it is a good feeling, like for me to like see it when you guys come in and you guys are just having the best time ever. Like that's like it makes me stoked.
It warms your heart. Like everyone's having fun.
Yeah, it's good to see. Like I don't know. And like a big, like I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but I feel like a part of it is you guys want to come in and see me.
Yeah, like, totally, dude.
Which is like sick. It's like okay.
Oh, it's a big thing. Like it's Conor tonight. Like sick. We gotta go see the homie. We're partying. Like it's a big thing. Yeah. No, it's a cool vibe. It's sweet. Like. I mean, I've been in Whistler for like 7 years now. Like when you, I feel like as you meet more people and there's people in different areas and you can like see your friends and you feel like you're a part of, like when you go in and you're like, oh, my homies here, like, hang out with him and then we're hanging out with the other homies. Like, it's a cool vibe to like, be around a lot of people that you like kind of thing. Yeah.
Marcos' birthday. That was a good one.
Psycho, hey? Yeah.
Shout out to Marcos.
Yeah, the boys... Yeah, they do it good.
Yeah.
There were some girls staying at our place that Mikey and I met in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And just before they left, they're like, it was really fun, but we can't really party like that. Like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Like, those guys are professionals.
Well, and that is another funny thing, like working in like a nightclub as opposed to like a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, you're seeing different styles of partying.
Yeah, like full on like. Well, when they grab Marcos and they're all pushing him over their head, like parading him around the dance floor and everything. Yeah, like, this wouldn't happen in an Earl's or something. Like that.
It just wouldn't go. They're like, get him down. Yeah.
So,
we did that with Sean in the Roundhouse and we got in shit there yelling at us. Yeah. The parading the boys is a fun thing though.
Yeah. But well, same thing with like when the hockey players came in, like when like we had Stamkos, James Neal.
Oh yeah.
Like a bunch of hockey players.
Yeah.
And Brad actually told me this that Mike Commodore was on a podcast on what is it?
Like Spittin' Chicklets or something?
Yeah, Spittin' Chicklets. There you go.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it. He's like, yeah, we went to this place in Whistler.
No way.
Full on was like stoked on it. I was
that's
like,
cool.
That's so good to hear. Like,
yeah. That's another thing though. Like you're providing an experience for people, and if they're stoked at the end of the day and you're stoked, like it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, 100%.
Is there do you notice a difference between like hockey players and like snowboarders and stuff like that, or they're all just genuine people?
Yeah, my experience with like I'm trying to think. We've had. Canucks come in all the time. McDavid, that was probably the coolest one because he actually like came up to the bar and was just like, hey, like gave me his credit card. No word of a lie. I was probably gonna like think about it for a second, like I should just run with this thing. And, like, probably so much money on this. Just
Yeah.
No, but like that was pretty cool. Like actually like meeting him.
Yeah.
And they were all pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty chill dudes.
Trying to think. Usually they've been pretty well.
Yeah. It's a different aspect there though, like being a team, like they come in with a crew. Hey?
Yeah, with a crew.
Yeah.
And they all have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like they'll
they're not
throw down.
Yeah, not cutting the budget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen your salary on TSN.
Oh yeah, you
don't try to hide this.
Yeah. He's trying to get a deal. You're like, buddy.
But yeah, like as for like athletes, like just in general, you mean, or?
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, just I feel like being in a service industry, you see so many different people.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, like you get like actors and actresses. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Never like huge names, but
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, for the most part, they're usually pretty good.
Yeah, everyone's been pretty genuine.
Yeah, and the one thing is, like, well, when they are, you know, hockey players, like big names, they do get special treatment. Like, that's the hard truth. Like, why wouldn't you, you know?
But you're
like,
stoked to see the guy and, like,
yeah, exactly.
You know.
And it's funny. Well, anyone that's, you know, gonna spend money, they're gonna get special treatment regardless.
Yeah.
And it's funny when people are like, "Oh, why does that person get to do that?" It's just like, "Oh, well, you just tipped me $100, so
yeah, you're like,
you want to give me $100, I'll do the exact same thing to you.
You can do anything you want." Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, which obviously, you know,
Yeah,
it's like within reason. Like, we had a guy what the other night on Friday.
Yeah.
And he was just a bit of yeah.
It's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he came up and he was just like, "Oh, like, I'm the one buying out this whole back bar. Like, I can do whatever I want." He was just, you know, being a loser.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, "Okay, whatever, man." Like,
Yeah.
same kind of thing. Like, trying to flaunt his money and everything like that. And you're like, dude, like, no one cares.
No. Yeah.
Like,
Such
you're not. It's like I've seen people spend way more money than you hear. You're not impressing me by, you know, buying out a back bar. Like,
yeah.
cool, man.
You're probably more impressed with the dude who's
Yeah, that came up and buys a bottle of Ace of Spades and pours it out for everyone.
Yeah, you're like, wow, that's a really nice guy.
I wonder what that guy does.
Yeah.
No, but we've had some, like, definitely some wealthy people come in. I remember this one time, this guy came, and you can tell. And it's funny.
Like, they seem bigger, like larger than life kind of thing when they walk in.
Yeah, just their kind of persona and everything. Like people with like really wealthy. Like we had some of the Don Julio. I don't know if it's the kids or like the family, but their parents were like part owners of Don Julio.
Whoa.
And they full on bought like a $700 bottle of Cristal and didn't even open it at the end of the night. They just sprayed it everywhere because
they just
living. Yeah, they're just living, exactly. But no, we had this one guy come in, and nice jacket, like just looked, everything was fresh, is I guess the best way to say it. Like everything just clean cut, fresh, you know, and like massive diamond watch, which you could just tell was like authentic.
Yeah.
And super nice guy came in.
That's
you know,
cool.
like asked us, you know, "Oh yeah, you guys live here?" He was English.
Yeah.
Which is funny. And
just curious.
Yeah, curious. And like we talked to him for a little while, and you know, tipped really well. Just super nice guy. Like just as you were saying, like with Mark Cuban, like interested in you.
You want to
not
understand.
just like, he's not there to, you know, promote himself and, "No, I do this." Like, he's interested in you.
Yeah.
And like your life story, which goes a long way. And
it means a lot. Yeah,
it means a lot. And he went to leave, and the guy at the door was like, "Man, I recognize that guy from somewhere."
Oh yeah.
And he ended up knowing him. He was from like his hometown.
Really?
Or, like in England or whatever. Like, I think it was Leeds or something, like a big city.
Yeah.
From his home city. And the guy was worth $300 million.
Whoa.
His net worth, and you're just like, jeez.
That's so cool. That's probably what got him there, though, is he's just like, you know, nice guy and wanted to hear from you.
Yeah, and so much of business and snowboarding and stuff is just being a good person. And actually, you know, putting in the time to...
It's those soft skills of being a genuine person, caring about other people, and...
Which definitely goes a long way.
Yeah.
In a lot of businesses too.
Yeah.
So obviously, like business, you gotta like there's a line you gotta draw. You can't just, you know, be welcoming everyone. And everything like that. You know, there's kind of, you know, people gotta get fired sometimes, and people gotta you know, learn a lesson and everything. Which it's funny. I was listening to Jordan Peterson. He was talking about how he met this one guy. Yeah. And his job was going into different companies and being like, all right, this person's not doing well, fire him. Like he would be like companies that were struggling, he would go in and just try to like change things around and everything. And like obviously not an agreeable person at all. Like totally. Very far from it. Yeah. And he's going in there, he's like, I can't, like, how do you do all this? Like you know, like what, like do you feel bad? He's like, no, dude, I love it. He's like, this is what I like to do. He's like, I can basically see someone who isn't working as hard as they should be, or someone who's, you know, just in there for their like along for the ride. Yeah. It's like I go in there, I see that, and you know, I get them out. Like I feel like I'm doing something good. I'm helping out the company, and you're just like, well, like you need people like that. Like 100%. You need that balance of you know, what's bringing people in and being fun and energetic, because you want to have like a fun atmosphere, but at the same time, when someone's not pulling their weight and someone's just messing around, okay, well, you're gone, kind of thing.
And you'd hope that like that kick in the butt would hopefully, if they have that personality that they want to become better, that they'll be like, oh, okay, I was slacking there. Yeah. And like I'll take that hit and I'll go to my next place and I won't make that same mistake again, versus
100%.
just staying stagnant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you so if you deal with the manufacturers in China, is it difficult to deal with that, or is the like communication side not too bad?
Like my business manager does a lot of that, like the actual dealing with it.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty good.
They've been
we're trying to get, like right now we have 2 kind of manufacturers that we work with, and ideally you don't want to back one up too much. So say like we have a 300 order going through, you want to make sure that you're still being proactive and getting other towels, because I know we have a couple other orders that are a lot smaller that we're trying to get through, but obviously kind of priorities, you want to make sure that the big order goes through and it's all good.
Totally, yeah.
So we're trying to get our plan is to kind of get a couple manufacturers that are all like sound,
so you can balance it, like
exactly. So
always towels going out the door, there's never big weights. That's smart. I just remember I was one of the local whistler company, and they produced their stuff out of China, and they said that they would always have to travel there.
Oh, really?
It was pardon me?
Is that fixed?
No, it was Sandbox at the time.
Okay.
They said that they always had to go there just to make sure, like especially with helmets and stuff, that their product was really good, because they said they'd always try and take shortcuts. Like
100%. China's definitely. Have you been to China?
No, I never have.
Oh my god.
You went for to do like some snowboarding?
Yeah, I did some snowboarding out there.
Yeah. What did you think of China?
Oh my gosh, it's interesting, man. Like, I know it's definitely an experience. Like I had a unique opportunity where like I got paid to go, so I was like, I'm gonna full on jump onto this. Like,
of course, take that opportunity.
But it's totally different there. Like just the fact that like internet's not, like Google's not the thing.
It's crazy how restricted things are there. Hey?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you think about that, like it's funny, because a couple of the people there, they were into basketball, which was kind of cool. They're into NBA. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, like, and I said a name, and they're like, oh, like what's that? And I was just like, oh, Google it. And they just kind of looked at me like, Google it. And I was like, they don't know. Yeah. They don't know, like, just Googling something. They don't have that accessibility.
See, that's crazy, the amount of freedom we haven't even in that sense that I don't even think about on a daily basis, like that you can just search up the information in the world, where there's countries where you can't do that. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And we were right on the border of North Korea, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. To me, you're like, now that you're here, like, that was sick, but yeah.
But yeah, no, we were like less than it was funny, like my phone was saying that we were in North Korea.
It was picking up.
Yeah, it was picking up North Korea.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool experience. Another thing though, for like snowboarders out there, over there, like where we were in China, we were in northern China.
Yeah.
Like here, you go to do a street spot,
yeah,
you're getting shut down. Like people, like, there's all the liabilities and everything. Like people don't want you to be snowboarding, on the streets, and
they don't like it.
Yeah, they don't like it. Yeah. Over there, it's so new to them, and as bad as it sounds, I think the fact that we were white and like we were different, because up there it's just like, they don't see white people, or
so they didn't know what was going on, so they're just like, sure,
so whatever. They're like, like they were so interested in it. They were just like, oh no way, like the Nightmare team was there, and they got a bunch of shots done, and that's like cool. If anything, they wanted to help us. Like the one guy, he owned a hotel up there, and it was all glass, like the front of it, and they were like, oh, can we ride down it like for a shot? And he's like, oh yeah, like he was stoked.
No way.
I'm like,
he was welcoming to it.
He was welcoming it. He's like, oh yeah, for sure, 100%. Like, go do it.
That's
you think about that in terms here. It's like there's no way that would ever go down unless you had like a big corporation behind you that could like buy it out or something like that.
Yeah, it would pretty much be like, okay, you have paid me enough that I can replace this easily,
exactly.
and then you can ride it.
Kind of thing. And we're gonna sign all these papers. If you get hurt, we're not liable.
Yeah, but he was just like, sure.
Yeah, he was like stoked.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a unique takeaway.
Yeah, and then, like, it was interesting. Like, we, like, the guy who owned it, obviously a wealthy businessman, he took us out for dinner and everything. And I remember, like, we were drinking, and I went to go buy a round of shots. And I was like, oh, like, I'll buy a round of shots. And he was, like, almost, like, disrespected that I wanted to buy people drinks. He's like, no, I buy that. Like he wanted to make sure that
he was taking you guys out.
Yeah. So like that was kind of cool. Like
that could be a different culture thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me a story. I'm pretty sure it was in China, where he was like traveling around as a younger guy, and getting to the airport, he didn't really have any plans or anything like that, and he met a wealthy businessman on the plane, and the guy pretty much put him up for like the week that he was there, took him to all the fancy restaurants, and it was just, he really wanted to show him and like give someone that experience and show him his culture and all his places. And
that's definitely one thing that I realized when I was there is like China just wants to show you China.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like it was cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And so there's other stuff. I found that over there, like personal space isn't really a thing.
No, people are tight, eh?
Like you'd just be sitting down and be like doing up my boots, and like where we were, there's not really much English speaking, so we had like some translators. Yeah. And one guy comes over and he sits like right beside me, like basically hand on my leg.
Yeah.
How are you doing today? And I'm just like, yeah, good, man. Like
North America, you're like,
maybe move it over a little bit.
Yeah, like even in my car, like I've got a nice meridian every time I sit down between my passenger. Like you're sitting right beside me.
Yeah, it was definitely funny.
Did you? What did you think about the food?
It's interesting for sure. Like I didn't mind it.
Okay.
Too much. Like I know some people.
That's Mike's biggest.
Like the food over there.
He's like, I just can't eat there.
Yeah.
He'll leave with a box of Cliff Bars. He'd be like, okay, see you guys.
Yeah. It's definitely. Yeah. Not ideal.
It's gnarlier.
It's gnarlier for sure. Yeah. I think a lot of it is just like there's lack of nutrition.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's just hard to get the same amount of greens.
Exactly. I know a lot of the people that went over there, they'd bring like protein powder and everything like that.
Yeah.
But for me, like I didn't get sick or anything like that.
That's good.
That's what you're asking. And then we were in Shanghai, I guess about a month ago. Me and my girlfriend, we went to the Maldives, which is pretty sick. That was cool.
Maldives. I heard that's really dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
But on the way back we stopped by Shanghai and we had like a 12-hour layover, so we went downtown.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. Like got to go down there and everything like that.
Well, it's probably like insane, like extravagant city space.
Yeah, right? It is.
Really?
It's massive. Like I didn't realize that the Shanghai Tower was the second biggest tower in the world.
Oh, it is, eh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And like I got there and I was just like, it honestly just dwarfed. Like everything else just looks tiny compared to it. It's like it's just a monster, and it honestly doesn't look like it should be standing because it just keeps going. Like
wow,
it's so big.
That's amazing.
And just walking around there was just really, really cool. And there it's like a little bit different because you kind of have like Starbucks and you have restaurants that
Okay.
Well, when we were kind of more up north, you're kind of like eating more cultured food.
Yeah, way less westernized by the time you hit the smaller
as soon
towns.
as you get up north.
Yeah.
And another funny thing there is just I remember one of the guys was like, "Oh, I come from a small town." I'm like, "Oh yeah, how many people?" He's like, 2 million.
Oh my god!
Like, all right, come up to Terrace, BC. I'll show you a small town.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
What did you think about growing up in Terrace? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, no, Terrace. It's cool for sure. Like I do like it's obviously slow pace.
Yeah.
A lot of like nature and kind of fishing is obviously massive up there. And everything. Like it has its benefits, but you're pretty isolated. Like those who don't know where Terrace is, you're basically 15-hour drive from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty far up there.
I went there once with my family. It took us 3
your cousin's
days.
Actually.
Yeah, my cousin grew up in Terrace.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, you guys know each other.
Yeah, David.
Yeah, he's good shit.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, snowboarding up there is really, really cool. Like, so much accessible backcountry. Like that was one thing. We don't really have a park up there.
No.
For riding park. I lived on the island for a little bit.
Okay. And
Mount Wash was kind of like my first actual like park that I rode.
That you got to kind of see and ride.
Yeah. And then up north you just learn how to ride side hits and everything. Yeah. Which is really, really like at the time I was like, this sucks. Like I wish I had a park, all
totally.
This stuff.
I know that.
And then you look back here, you're like, dude, I had same with you probably. Like all the side hits and tree stumps and stuff. You gotta
it develops your snowboarding in such a different way.
And it's funny, like you get spoiled up there with powder.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
A powder day up there. I still remember this one time. It was like a Thursday, and somehow like I got out of school and I got to go up.
Yeah.
Like dumped like 50 centimeters, something insane. There's maybe like 20 people up on the whole entire mountain.
Yeah.
Like the whole entire mountain. You could count every single person up there.
Yeah.
And I went to like one of the runs. I think there's like 35 runs on the mountain.
Yeah.
I went to one of the runs, went down, and then that was like my first run of the day. And then I went back up there at the last run of the day. And I went there, and my track was the only track down that run. And this is like one of the sickest runs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I look like here in Whistler, it's, geez, if you're not up by 10 a.m., it's just track.
Everything's gone. Yeah,
which is funny. But the one thing that I find with Whistler is people will wake up at 5 a.m. to go wait in line for 2 hours to get up there to get their one fresh track down.
Yeah.
But me, like obviously working late nights and stuff, it's harder for me to get up there. If I'm going backcountry, I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I can wake up early and just kind of power it out.
Yeah.
But to go up the mountain, like wake up at 5 a.m., wait in line and everything. Like I can just go up there and I've been here for 8-9 years.
Yeah.
You kind of know the good spots.
Yeah, you can find some stashes.
You can find some stashes.
Yeah.
Or you can just boot pack, honestly, 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can find some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, get some tomorrow terrain.
Or
so much
vice
accessible
versa,
terrain.
pack out, like drop into something and just have a quick traverse out.
Yeah, totally.
And I know people just, I guess people just aren't knowledgeable about it, but they don't want to put in the work.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's easy to complain about anything. Like Whistler's got a lot going for it, and you definitely see the crowds, but there's ways to manage it for sure.
Yeah. Have you noticed anything with the Vale takeover in the last little while? Like
nothing that's been affected me so much, at least as far as Whistler. Like I like it because I can snowboard. I'll go to Colorado in the fall, which is on the pass. I'll snowboard all winter in Whistler, and then we'll go to Australia, which is on the pass too, and it's all on one thing. So for us, that's a huge plus. Like it's saving thousands of dollars on lift passes. Yeah,
that's really good.
I definitely heard within people who work there that I think there's been a lot of changes.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen any for me personally.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more stricter working there.
Yeah,
I believe. Well, like I do fire and ice, which for those who are unaware, we basically jump through a ring of fire.
Yeah,
it's a job, but
literally what the
but it's good. We get a free pass out of it and some money. But I know that they're like really strict on safety. Like
they tightened up.
Safety.
Yeah.
Like they're really, really tight on that.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with it, which was kind of funny for me, is people being like, Vale's taking over, they're big corporate, like ban, like get rid of Vale. It's like, Mr. Blackham was a pretty big corporation right before that. It's not like it was
too.
Like,
yeah.
It was like a mom and pop, ski
know, man.
going up. It's just
that's the crazy thing about the core snowboarding argument too. It's like they're like, oh, dude, support this company. It's core. I'm like, dude, that company that you think is core is owned by like 5 other companies. They're owned by this other company that has nothing to do with snowboarding.
100%.
But they just do their marketing to seem like they are that brand, you know?
Yeah, that's all a lot of companies. It's insane when you break it down that you know, like the dad company of the dad companies.
Yeah.
To this one.
There's a lot of misinformation out there too. I remember when I was a kid, like someone told me that Nike owned Burton and I should never support Burton. And I was just like 10 years old. I'm like, okay, sure. And then figuring out that like it's one of the the only companies that's still owned and that's probably
100%.
Yeah.
That's so funny though, like with the misinformation, like you get that all the time. And it's funny how like when we were kids, because I found, well, you're a lot more gullible as a kid. But,
totally, yeah.
And you don't really research anything.
No.
That you full on believe it. Like there's still probably fibs and lies that have been told as a kid, and you're like, oh no, that happens. And then, you get to a point where you just like look it up, and you're like, oh no, that's totally
like
totally a rumor.
Yeah,
100%.
No, it's funny growing up and like here, especially in the industry too, like where you see and hear all these things, and you find out that none of it was really true. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, learning to understand it more. I just remember being like, I was so young, and the shop I used to ride for, I still ride for in Las Vegas, but the ride rep came to town. He was like, yo, like, I'm gonna give you a pro form. And I was like, and he gave me some stickers, and I went home like, Mom, I made it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting the pro form. It's the same thing the pros get. Like, it's the pro form. Like, I'm there. And her being like,
Yeah, no. Oh, man. Like, getting into snowboarding and everything was, like, was like, as a kid especially, like I remember, like my first sponsor was Ruins Board Shop.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I remember they gave me a couple T-shirts, and I probably wore those T-shirts every single day.
You're
like
so excited.
Every single day. And like when I got on with DC, it was just like, like I remember like I didn't really believe it. And it was funny. So like I had like the meeting with the rep.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, I'm heading away for a little bit, but when I come back, I want to meet up with you, and you can come down."
Yeah.
So there's probably like 2 weeks where, like, I was on the team or like getting sponsored, but I wasn't quite yet sponsored.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, "Am I actually sponsored? Am I not sponsored?"
You don't want to tell anyone, but you're like,
exactly. You don't really want to tell anyone because you might like blow it up and then find out that you're like not getting anything.
Yeah.
You're just like, "Oh, I just like."
Well, yeah, it goes that way more than the other way.
Yeah. But yeah, and then like going down there, like I was like, am I gonna get like a sticker? Am I gonna get like a shirt? And then like you found out like, oh no, I'm getting a full setup and everything, and like they've taken care of me so much, and
that's huge.
You're just like that's like massive.
Yeah.
Like that was like your goal, you know, like for the last 8 years snowboarding.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to become that, and you finally got it. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, you're so stoked.
It's still like cool, like. You know, we just had DC week up on the glacier and stuff like that. And,
no, that's great.
You know, seeing the same thing in kids now, you know, handing out stickers and shirts and, hey, do this trick and I'll give you a sticker. And they're just so excited and just seeing, you know, like almost yourself in those shoes. Like, I remember my first season up at Glacier.
Yeah.
2010.
Oh, yeah.
We were living on the island. My dad drove us all the way to Whistler from Comox.
Wow.
Came up here. And obviously, you know, I was a huge snowboard enthusiast and stoked about it. And growing up in Terrace, like, you don't, like the scene up there is really, really small.
Yeah, there's only a couple snowboarders.
Exactly.
And
like,
know the vibe.
And no one's, like, you have some guys that are, like, talented and stuff, but no one's, like, going.
Yeah, they're not going to,
exactly.
No one's really pushing for it.
And I walked through to where Wizard was, the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
And I walk in, then there's like Stevie Bell, John Jackson, the whole forum team, and I was just like so taken back. I was like
the Whistler effect.
Yeah, the Whistler effect. Like, oh my god, like.
Yeah.
And then I went up there, and I didn't know where I was going because I was by myself.
Okay.
And like I kind of got up and I just cruised into COC. I
like
was just following the skier.
There,
I was just following the skier, and I just like went right in. And I'm like, wait, don't I need to pass for this? I was just like, I'm in Camp of Champs, no way, like so excited. I'm just like, I'm hiking all day. There's no way I'm gonna try to like sneak in again, like So which is funny. I actually saw David up there, your cousin.
Yeah,
and he's like, Connor, like, and we ended up hanging out.
Sick.
And they had like a send it with session, like the same kind of thing that I was doing with these kids, you know, 10 years prior. And they're like, all right, if you do this trick, you know, you're gonna get this. And I was full on doing that, and I was just like so stoked. And I remember like I never went upside down, and I was like, I'm gonna try backflip.
Oh,
like that was my thing, and I just like remember like eyes closed, hucked a backflip. Yeah. And John Jackson was just like, dude, that was sick, man. Like high fived me and everything, and I was like blown away. Like
that's cool.
I remember coming down, and I was like, Dad, you wouldn't believe what I saw. Like,
just losing your mind telling them everything that happened.
Yeah, no. So it's just cool to see kind of, you know, the same thing with kids.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. And that's definitely what I want to start to do now with snowboarding. Like John, you know, starting loving winter,
totally,
and everything like that. Kind of getting more involved with that. For those who are unaware, John Leslie is doing a nonprofit program, getting kids into snowboarding and skiing, which is awesome. Like, really, really cool. And just trying to get back to the sport a bit more.
Gave you something so much. Yeah. No, there's a beautiful side to it for sure. Yeah. I definitely think. I mean, I love that stuff. It's so sick seeing like young kids stoked on things like that. Yeah. Well, and like just because there's so many kids now, like video games are such a huge thing. Yeah. Just, you know, like parents are having trouble trying to get their kids out of the house. For sure. And like I've seen it. Like, you know, I have friends that just game out all the time. Totally. Yeah. And you know, whether it's snowboarding or tennis or like any sport, you know, just getting kids and because you know it's cliche, but you know, kids are the future and everything. Yeah. But like just seeing kids getting out there and showing passion for a certain sport, or even if it's art or anything really, like even if it's business, like just seeing kids excited about something. Is, you know, it makes you feel good, and especially when you're the one that's like providing that. It feels good. That information to them. It definitely is, you know, part of the circle. Or, totally. The whole thing. It sounds kind of hippie, but no, but it's cool to be like, man, I'm that guy providing this to a kid now these days. It's like it feels good. There's a lot of studies on that too, like extracurricular activities for kids, and like spending more than 1 year in it and finding something they're passionate about. It provides a lot of skills to them later in life.
Yeah, 100%. Well, like team sports and everything, like learning how to get along with people, even if you don't like them, like learning how to, you know, kind of put up with people.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you know, having a coach, and, you know, it's kind of like having a boss. Like, I don't know, all that stuff.
Dude, it's everything.
Life skills. I'm reading Bobby Orr's book right now.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually really, really, like, his point on things are, like, I agree with him 100%.
You hear that? Yeah, I get that.
Because, like, one thing that I don't agree with in a lot of these sports is getting kids in young.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, like if they get to kind of like a certain age where they are getting good, and they want, then you can see, you know, potential of them, you know, becoming pro athletes. Yeah, you know, start training them up for that. But, you know, when you have kids that are 8, 9 years old, and you are putting pressure on them to succeed,
dude,
not only are you setting them up to, as Sam was saying, to not like the sport, you're setting them up if they don't make it for, you know, depression. And, you know, you're putting these kids on a pedestal at a young age, and it's just not good for their egos. And
dude, there's a real dark side to it. Like, you see it a lot in snowboarding, that kids who get really good and people want to help them out. They're like, oh man, like, you know, you work for a shop, you're like, hey, I'll get you on this brand, like they're going to give you product, it's going to help you. But like, a lot of times that person who thinks that they're helping that kid out are actually doing a lot of detrimental damage to them, because now that kid has the pressure. He feels like he has these sponsors that he has to have this unwavering loyalty to, where the company is, you know, no shade on them, but they don't really care necessarily. Like, if their budget gets cut, you're cut too. Where this kid, like, is, you know, liver, like, you know, bleeding for this company. And then the same with teams and teams and coaches and stuff like that, where it adds a lot of bullshit to young kids' sports that doesn't need to be there. Like, if you're trying to progress, you need the littlest amount of, I feel like, extra bullshit on top of it to get to where you need to get. And that added stuff can really take away from it quite quickly.
Well, and another thing with it too is, you know, maybe a kid is really passionate about it 1 year. Maybe he wants to try something else later down the road. Like, that's another thing. Like, you know, with me growing up, like hockey, like I was so passionate about hockey, and like I'm still passionate about it, but it's not like I go out and play every single day, like the same way I do with snowboarding and stuff like that. And having, like, putting these kids on a pedestal, and, you know, having it go to their head, and, you know, especially with hockey and, you know, baseball and these other sports like snowboarding too, and being like, oh, you know, that's little Johnny over there, he's a really, really good so and so. And this is actually one cool thing that Bobby Orr talks about in his book is his parents. And obviously, you know, him growing up, he was like the prodigy and everything like that. And people would come in to the mom at her shop. She worked at a coffee shop or whatever, and be like, oh, how's your son doing? She's like, oh, I have 3 of them. Which one are you talking about? Which is like really, really good as a parent and as a, you know, a person to be like, hey, you know, this kid, he's good at hockey. That's it.
It's good to remember that you ain't shit. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
That's such a funny thing about, like, snowboarding. It's like, okay, you ride a piece of wood down a mountain.
Don't take it that seriously.
Exactly. And like same with hockey, same with baseball. And I'm a huge, you know, enthusiast about sports. And when you get to pro level and when you get to higher level, okay, now it's time to all right, let's get these kids trained up and everything like that. But when they're kids, and this is what he talks about, you know, kids at, you know, 8 years old, 10 years old, going to summer camp for hockey and training, and you know, getting their fat levels tested and all this insane stuff. He's like, I learned how to play hockey on a pond with 20 guys. Just sticks in the middle, let's go. And he's like, that is just so different, you know, way to learn. And, you know, you're putting these kids now in where you have, you know, coaches and development and speed and all this stuff. And it's like, they don't need that. 100%.
It's like a time and place thing. Like, like you said, down the line, if it decides that they really want to go that way, there's benefit to it. But growing up, it's all about just letting them nurture it naturally.
Let them have fun. Like, if they like the sport, they like the sport. If they don't, well, you know, maybe they'll like something else. Maybe they'll like, you know, art or video or, you know, camera photography, you know. Like, there's a lot of different things that people like mechanics and stuff like that. Like, there's so many, and a big part of it too is parents, I think, putting the pressure on them. Like, that is
the hockey dads.
Like, like, I was down in Nicaragua and I saw a surf dad like
Oh, yeah.
yelling at his kid,
Yeah.
and you're just like, dude, like, oh man,
Nice.
and you can't say anything, which is
No,
hard.
it's tough.
Like,
Yeah.
you just kind of sit there and you're like, all right, well.
Well, yeah. I mean, who am I to say how you're supposed to? Yeah. Hey, I don't think you should parent your kid like that. Yeah. Like, how's that gonna go? But no, I mean, that's bleeding into snowboarding too. Like, we see more and more parents on hill, like talking pretty strictly to their kids. But I think you can get it. Like, I mean, we said it with Sam too. Like, I think in some sports you can maybe get away with it, but in snowboarding, I don't think you can do it. I think it's too, for me, like personally, I think it's too gnarly, and you need to love it too much. You need to give so much to it that you can't hate it.
Yeah.
And I think that creates a lot of resentment when you have that as a young kid, and that pressure and bringing in parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, and especially like, I never experienced this, but like people had said, like, you know, like Michael Jackson, stuff that like they didn't have a childhood.
Yeah.
Like I totally like agree with that. You know, like.
Yeah, you need to be able to let go and like.
Yeah.
Yeah, have some things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, having kids your own age too is a big one.
Yeah.
I
that's
feel like,
huge.
you know, especially in snowboarding.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, not all snowboarders are role models.
No, definitely not.
Like,
and most of them are 10 years older than you too. Yeah.
And when you bring a kid that's, you know, 8 years old and here, come out with so-and-so, and, you know, maybe...
Oh, man, I remember
they're
like
teaching them some things that...
looking back of like being at certain snowboard events and seeing things that are going on. As a kid, you're just like, oh, I didn't even think. I'm like, oh, that guy was doing that drug. That guy was doing this thing. Like, now that you know more, but in the moment, you're just like... That, not that I would trade it for anything, but it definitely, you gotta be careful about that kind of stuff for sure.
Full on. You know, I've read like Theo Fleury's book, and he kind of talks about, you know, growing up in hockey, and well, obviously what happened to him is a bit of a different story, but just having kids hanging out with like people their own age is pretty big.
Yeah,
like for and it's funny, like as like children, you know, like someone who's a year older than you, it's like, oh, this person, you know, he's older. Like, and like obviously, like when you get to a certain age, it's kind of like, okay, everyone's kind of, you know, like.
On Whistler, it's like, oh, you like snowboarding? Okay, we're friends. I don't care if you're 45 or you're 15. Like, I'm stoked on you.
Yeah. But like as kids, I don't know, my personal opinion is you don't really want, you know, older people, you know, 10-year gap between ages hanging out with each other, because it's just. I don't know.
At least not all the time. Yeah, like I definitely enjoyed some relationships when I was, you know, a pretty young kid with some older guys. But I think you don't get those same kind of bonds that you do with the kid who's just your age and you're snowboarding together. But that's one of the things that is tough in a place like Terrace or like Rossland, is that there isn't that many kids who like what you like. Like I was on a snowboard team. I was the youngest for the whole time pretty much, because, you know, and you're riding with guys who are a lot older just because they love snowboarding, and it's the only way you can kind of get it.
100%.
Nice.
I was pretty fortunate. I basically had 3 guys that I rode with.
That's sick.
And like that was, and and this was like the one thing that I liked about snowboarding was like the fact that there was no coach and all that kind of thing. Like you can kind of just do what you want.
Yeah.
And like I've never been part of like a coach or training program for snowboarding. It's always just kind of been, oh, like let's go do this. And,
have fun.
Have fun with it, exactly. And you know, I think that has taken a big toll on the kind of like my style and like my riding.
Yeah.
So that is how I've kind of grown up with it. Stuff like that. Well, when you see some of these contest kids, like you can almost see a contest kid. You know what I mean? Like their style.
Yeah.
And everything is.
Yeah.
is so. It's just bred for contests.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if that's what they like to do, that's what they like to do.
Yeah, I mean, it gets tough to a point, because like there's certain ways to do a trick that are more efficient than other ways. Like if you know how to snap efficiently, you can spin more. You can spin more consistently. Like learning how to spot a trick and stuff like that, and landing all squared up, and like how you can do your grabs and stuff like that. But it is interesting how like different areas of snowboarding breed different snowboarders. But
and that's another funny thing. It's like, you see these kids coming up, and they're so young, they're so talented and everything like that. And as you were talking about before, like, you know, like people who like, oh, I'm a snowboarder, you know, have that mentality of like, what I'm doing, you know, makes me better than a certain other person. It's funny because it's like, it's so humbling when you see like a kid that's like 12 years old that's better than you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, like no
How
matter
cool
what,
am I?
yeah, exactly. No matter how good you are at snowboarding, there's usually a kid that's 12 years old that's better than you, and that's in a lot of sports too.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
It's interesting.
I never get the like, you know, the too cool thing. Like it doesn't really make sense to me. And that's the same art, like when it comes back to like, yeah, like, you know, a certain style argument in snowboarding, the airbag thing, the contest thing, like at the end of the day, like it's all bullshit. Like the universe doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't care that we're sliding down snow on a plank of wood. Like why can't we all just forget the bullshit and just like go snowboarding and just enjoy it, whether or not you're you know, really want to get that, you know, triple cork, or you just want to do a turn. Like I don't think there needs to be so much like it has to be like this, it has to be so cool.
And the whole of, well, this is in surfing and skateboarding too, the scene, like how people are like almost non-accepting of certain, you know, usually beginners and stuff like snowboarding, totally. When they make fun of like a person trying to learn how to snowboard or learning how to surf, and stuff like that, getting angry at them and stuff, or like making fun of them. It's like,
getting in my way, like, you know.
If you want more people to get into your sport and enjoy it, why are you being rude to them? It just doesn't make any sense.
I definitely think like, you might as well support it.
100%.
I never got that. Like it's just,
I think skateboarding, surfing's probably the worst. Like for the whole local. Like, oh, I'm local, and I get it a little bit. Like, you know, when you have a certain break that you're just yours, then you have like tourists coming all in.
I mean,
it's,
man, if there's any, like, I don't know the age of people listening, but there's any old dogs that were in snowboarding, they're probably like, oh, you kids don't know the half of it. Like it used to be hard. Like snowboarding used to be hard to get into. Like different cultures, like you had to be mean and punk and like fucking a bunch of hard guys out there. And same in surfing, same in skating. Like now it's, you know, arguably pretty soft in that sense. But I mean, I wasn't a part of that, and I'm just all for the love of it. I don't really care for excluding anyone. I think everyone should, like, that's the thing that's tough too with teams, is like a lot of teams are exclusive. And that's one thing I really pride Worcester Valley about being about, is that if you want to ride with Worcester Valley, you can just sign up and ride with them. Like, of course, there's all like, you know, snowboard's expensive, so it excludes people in that way. But like, I think everyone, if they want to snowboard, should be able to snowboard and just have as much fun as they can.
Well, and there's different ways to go about it too. Like, if you want to snowboard, you want to be on a team, and you want to, you know, like, there's gonna be politics in that.
Totally.
Like there's politics in everything, but if you want to buy a snowboard and go up a mountain, like, no one's stopping you from doing that. And like, well, I think the worst part that I see it is, we'll be going through a park and there'll be a dad taking his kids through the park and they don't know etiquette.
Oh yeah, right? True.
That's a big one. And don't get me wrong, like I'll go down and I'll talk to the family and just be like, hey, like, your kid shouldn't be there because you know, he's gonna get hit and he's gonna be hurt, because
it's a bad experience. That's the worst feeling, dude, when you come over a jump and you're like, and there's someone fucking and you're just like, because you get scared because you know you're gonna get hurt and that kid's gonna get hurt and you're gonna feel bad. Like, it's a whole big thing.
I think where a lot of snowboarders go wrong with that whole experience is, you know, hey, your kid shouldn't be there, and just start yelling at him. It's like, that's just gonna escalate the situation. What you should do is you should full on just be like, hey, like, for the safety of your kid, and just explain it to him. Just be like, hey, like, your kid shouldn't stay there. Like, this is a, you know, park zone. We can't see your child from the bottom. They might get hit. And the amount of times I've had that happen where the parent was like, oh, sorry, like, thank you, is far beyond greater than if I see, you know, like, I have friends that just yell and start cursing at him. It's just like, it's not going to help your situation.
It's just poor communication skills. Like, it's not going to give you what you want out of it. It's just going to cause more problems. Then they're going to be bummed on, he's like, I'm never going to let my kid snowboard again because of all these, you know, asshole snowboarders that are yelling at me, you know, kind of thing.
I think the one other thing I kind of want to talk about is just like giving back to the sport and everything, like finding a new way to kind of stay with it. And one thing that I've been trying to do is get more into like announcing.
Oh, okay.
which has been kind of fun. Like, I love
Dude,
I love announcing.
You're out of anyone I know can like get people going and like start up a vibe and get the crowd. Yeah.
Like I do the skate night at Garfinkel's.
Yeah.
The nightclub, which is so much fun. Like,
yeah.
And like I love kind of playing around with it a little bit and like using certain phrases and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Like Craig, I don't know. I guess imitation is the best form of flattery.
Totally. Like you just watch his stuff and like, oh, I can do that. I can do that.
Dude, Craig's, it's funny. I always joke about it. He's like the Tony Romo of snowboarding. Like,
really?
He can do both sides. He can like announce it so well. Yeah. And he's like, obviously a phenomenal snowboarder.
Yeah.
Craig McMorris, for those who are wondering. But,
no, he's got the personality, but he's also got the smarts.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the way he kind of breaks down tricks and everything like that is just, I don't know. He does a really, really good job.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I like totally copy him and imitate him, but he's definitely like one guy that like 1 a.m. I went down to Seymour with John. Mostly. Oh yeah. We went and did a contest down there. Yeah. And I got to announce it, and I had a lot of fun with it.
That's cool. Yeah.
And just kind of having that kind of Craig voice in your background, like
dude, I get that, man. Like when I'm thinking about how I can snap this trick, I'll be like, I'll just think of a video of Mark and he's doing it. So like, I mean, fair enough with the
and kind of like putting like when I announce, it's funny. People are like, you totally change your voice and everything. I'm like,
oh yeah,
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at Garfinkel's for the skate night.
Yeah, but you gotta play it up. That's everything, eh?
Yeah, no, it's
man, that's fun though. That's something I love to see. Like you're watching a good comedy show or something, and the way they can like manage a crowd and things like that. That's a really cool skill. Yeah.
But hopefully, I can do another couple kind of announcing gigs this summer. But yeah, it's definitely one thing that I've been trying to get more into.
Yeah, put it out there if anyone's got announcing.
Yeah, if anybody wants
honors
in, gig, I can do it for you.
Yeah,
it'll be good. But yeah, also, and hockey players and stuff, or like hockey commentary and everything, like when you hear them and just like the wordplay they use and, kind of like describing everything, it's really, really cool.
Man, you probably listen to it differently now, hey? Like how they describe certain things, how they carry conversation.
The one good thing about, which I've never done, is they usually have two people.
Okay.
Right? So they usually have one person who's like full on describing exactly what's going down. And the other person is more like analyzing it. Yeah. So if something happens, they'll be like, "Oh, watch this." Yeah. Watch this pass that happened over here that created this goal opportunity. Yeah. Well, he's kind of more analyzing it, and then you have the one guy who's describing. Like me, I kind of got to do like almost both.
Yeah, that's tough.
And also when you have two people, you can like have a bit of conversation.
You can throw things off each other. You can bounce it.
Exactly. You can talk to each other. Well, when you're by yourself, you're just kind of up there.
You're bringing all the energy yourself,
But the best way to kind of get around that is you just talk about like thanking sponsors or whatever.
Right.
Like when I was at Mount Seymour, like, thank you, Mount Seymour, for throwing on this event. Like, kind of going that way.
Fill the space.
Fill the space, exactly, when there's nothing going on. But, anyone's got any commentary, then
you're there. Yeah.
I'd be stoked.
That's a cool, that's a smart thing though. Like you're kind of, sustainability is everything. That's a way that you can stay in, in it and still be around. But then like you got that facet and this one, like it's just good to be.
And also being like adaptable too.
Yeah.
Like obviously, snowboarding is kind of going through a lot of it's always changing. Like every industry is always changing.
Totally.
There's peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
And trying to stay with it while just adapting. And that's one thing that I'm really excited to kind of learn about business. Mm-hmm. There's times where you're going to be doing really, really well, and there's times where you're going to be losing a lot, and just being like, okay, why? And that was a big thing with this Onward book that I read.
Yeah. With
Starbucks is, okay, why are we doing bad? And like looking into it, and I read Ed Catmull, who was the CEO of Pixar.
Yeah.
Or might still be.
Yeah.
But he kind of talks about it, and he says when things are going good, is usually when you got to step back, because when things are going good, you're not really thinking about anything going wrong.
Right.
And then you kind of start, maybe a bad habit, or maybe you start getting lazy here.
Yeah.
And then it starts to kind of create a downfall.
Yeah.
And then, usually it comes with a crash, and then you're like, oh, like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
So when things are going bad, you're like, okay, we're on it. We need to fix these certain problems.
Super
things
focused.
are going good, you're not really looking at what's going wrong, because why would you? Things are going well, so you don't think you're doing anything wrong.
Yeah, so to always be able to take that step back and just be mindful that, it can always kind of go away.
Yeah, and changing, being adaptable and changing, maybe business model, or maybe your snowboarding. Maybe you went from being a pro to, okay, how do I want to stay in snowboarding? Oh, maybe I'll start coaching.
Yeah,
like stuff like that.
Oh, being able to pivot is huge, and that's with any industry, like especially with how so quickly our world changes, like with the internet and stuff like that. Like next year, social media could be a completely different place versus this year. So if that's what you rely on, like you need to be able to pivot quickly.
Yeah, well, and I think that's another thing, kind of being an investor or being the CEO or a business, is having kind of a plan B, or having something to fall back on. Okay, all right, well, this revenue isn't making me much, and that's a big thing with, success stories. They always say, having like more than one stream of income.
Right. Yeah.
Having 3 or 4 streams of income, and be like, all right, so if I get laid off, my job's not doing well, the bar's closed. Yeah. All right, well, at least I still have money coming in from here. And that's kind of my biggest thing right now, is trying to create those streams of revenue coming in, so that if something does happen down the long road, which, even if I get sick or something like that, or, I get hurt, all right, well, maybe I'm not now making money from bartending, but now I'm making money from my side business. I can do that from the computer. I can do that from Beachdaze. I have investments too. Maybe I can start making money from that. So that is really crucial, is having other game plans.
Yeah, not all your eggs are in one basket. You're not relying on one thing to work. Yeah. You've got everything coming around. Oh, it's smart. Yeah. On it. So, it's nice to see the passion. I love being around passionate people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's one thing that I've never done a podcast, so this has been fun. So hopefully, I don't know, people will listen to this.
Yeah. I never know, honestly. Like, they're all new, but I mean, I think everyone's got something unique. Like, I think you've got, a lot going for you, and really cool takes, and I think people respect that,
Mm-hmm. And another thing is just like taking opportunities, like you're like, hey, do you want to come on this podcast? It's like 100%. Like, why not? Yeah. I've never been on one. It's one, I like this. Like, I really enjoy, being here and just, talking about, my perspective, and, people can interpret that however they want.
Yeah, and share to it, and
like same with like commentating. Like John was like, hey, you want to come down to Seymour and commentate?
Yeah,
100%. And just taking those opportunities and see what they lead you, because you never know. Like, maybe it's a dead end road right after that, but maybe you totally bomb. Who knows? But
totally
until you kind of get out there and put yourself there.
Yeah, that's a big thing though. You have to be willing to take the risk. You have to be willing to suck. Like, I think that's one thing that a lot of people miss in snowboarding. That they they get to a certain level and they're like, oh no, I can't do this trick because then I'll look like, look bad because I'll be like, sucking at this, or you're like, oh, I don't want to go commentate. What if I can't do it, kind of thing. Yeah. But being able to be like, I'll take this opportunity. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Yeah. There's some value in that. I think.
And another thing, you don't really know what you like until you try it too.
Yeah.
I never thought that I'd like commentating until I kind of started doing it.
And you're like, shit, this is sick.
Like, oh, this is actually like really, really fun. And like I like it because like most of the commentating I've done is at Garfinkel's for the skate night. Yeah. So what that is like people come in and it's just game of skate, SKATE. Yeah. Like trick for trick, both the competitors are going. Yeah. And because I know obviously them like pretty personally, like I'll kind of put in like hidden gems and everything like that. Yeah. And they love it, man. Like they always come up and they'll be like, oh man, that was so funny when you said that. Like having a bit of humor with it too.
Dude, I've been in there just been screaming, just like it's been
or like the giveaways and stuff like that, like getting the crowd fired up. Like I love doing that too.
Yeah. And, yeah, it gives you a good feeling. Yeah. Man, if only Marcos won the barbecue the other night.
Yeah, sorry Marcos.
Yeah. Should have been there. 3, 2, 1, it's gone. That's it.
For those who are wondering.
Yeah.
I went to give away a barbecue. We always give away prizes at Garf's. Sam won a blow up inflatable boat, kind of
like a raft, kind of thing.
A raft, yeah. That was cool. But yeah, no, we give away like electric scooters. Like I know a few of the boys
That
went
sounds
on electric
crazy.
scooters.
Yeah.
And we had a barbecue a couple weeks ago, and I saw Marcos in there, and I actually drew his name,
Yeah,
which
that's
was
amazing.
insane.
Yeah.
And I called it, and he wasn't in the
You-
building, so he didn't get it.
I mean, the rules. That's the only thing he told me yesterday. He's like, dude, I went out last night, won this barbecue, but I wasn't there. Didn't get it. It was so long.
But yeah, no. Yeah, we give away snowboards, we give away skateboards,
Wow.
like Beyonce tickets, Drake tickets.
No way. Those
Yeah,
are big
it's
prizes.
pretty good. Like the bosses do a really good job on getting
Yeah.
some good things for the
Wow.
staff.
Garf is on it.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah. Wow.
Good.
Well, hey Connor, that was great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. That
I
was,
mean, you have the record so far. We got
Alright.
the longest one. Yeah. Yeah.
we'll have to beat Wimbledon next time. The 5 hour
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, dude.
It'll be in segment.
Yeah. Here's this one. Yeah.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah.
It'll be good. But yeah, no. Hopefully, Apple will buy the rights to this and
That'd be
you can get
fantastic.
a nice paycheck out of it.
Yeah. Then I can just do this and snowboard. We'll be chilling.
10% rule.
Yeah. No. Fuck, I'll hook it up.
Awesome.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on though and,
No
and
worries,
sharing
thank
some
you.
really good insight.
Cheers. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Anytime.
And, yeah, for anybody wondering, Beachdaze Towel,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, and your boy Pala. On
Yeah, boy
Instagram.
Pala. Yeah.
There you go.
That's the one you really want.
Cheers,
Sweet.
guys. Have a good one.
That's it. Wow.